Give me 5 more minutes. I am sorry. Hold up. I'll be right back. Sometimes I get asked, Josh, I want to start my own racist podcast. What tips do you have? First, hit your audience. I've been waiting for 10 minutes already with furry opera. Then immediately pause and take 5 minutes to go to go fuck off. That's how you do it. It's the suspense, chat. The suspense builds, and the people cannot pry their eyes away because they know that whatever's coming next must be simply phenomenal. Okay. So let's see. Hello, everybody. How are you? How's chat doing? Good, I hope, as always. We're gonna get right into the news. I have a feeling. So let's start with this. I don't know if I made anybody aware of this last stream, but I figured I would do it now. If you go to the Kiwi Farms, there is a featured thread, and I posted this on the Zitter as well. The FTC is accepting public comment in regards to deplatforming. And if you have ever been deplatformed for speech-related activities, you can now file a complaint. By far, the most common complaint that is being received by the FTC, from what I've seen, is in regards to Reddit. So I don't know. Over private entities, they may not have much to do, but I think over public platforms like Reddit that are like publicly traded companies, the FTC might be able to enforce a rule that says that publicly traded like social media platforms are considered like an open platform or something. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to end up writing a very professional letter. I'm going to physically mail it to them as my comment on this entity, as USIPs, because I have a lot to say. I have very specific things that I despise. I have very specific names that I want to see ostracized from any position of authority, and I need a moment to collect myself, because if I were to just start writing, I would never stop. I could literally write for hours and hours. Okay. So on that note, if you want to submit a comment, go ahead and go for it. There are certain things that they're looking for. If you actually want to have an impact, I would recommend that you start by reading the document that they posted, because this document, which is not loading now, dude, there's like There's something wrong with my browser where not a single fucking thing loads. I need to switch. I think the Molvad is the issue. I'm using the Molvad browser, and after using it for a length of time, it just stops loading pages unless I completely restart the browser. I'm almost guaranteed that this is what the issue is. I don't know why it does it. It doesn't happen on Firefox. It doesn't happen on Brave. It just happens on Molvad. So I'll have to find a different streaming view, I guess. Anyways, if you read the PDF, it'll have a list of things that they're particularly interested in, and if you want to write an effective comment, what you do is you read that and you write your message to specifically address as many of those points as possible. But yeah, so that's up to you if you want to do that. Also, on the USIPS front, over a year ago, I submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the Office of the Controller of Currency, asking for any and all information from the month of January related to specific people, especially in regards to the Freedom of Information or the Fair Access to Financial Services rule that was passed and paused within the same month. And after a year and a new administration, they actually finally got back to me. You can read this yourself by going to get.usips.org/usips/FOIA. And then this is the only thing that's available on it so far. As I mentioned before, the secretary for the organization is the lawyer for the Kiwi Farms, Matthew Hardin. And before he became a professional anti-vexatious litigant attorney, he was the number one FOIA requester in the entire world. Like, I think that in certain years, he submitted more than 50% of all, or he was involved in 50% of all FOIA-related litigation for the entire year. So, of all the people suing the government for not completing FOIA requests, Hardin was doing one of two. For every two filed, he was one of them. So he's really good at FOIAs. And what is with all the super chats? Oh my god! Thank you. But yeah, we're going to start FOIAing a lot of stuff, because now that we have a sympathetic government, we might be able to get some information. However, that cannot be true of the OCC, so we might actually have to sue them. They gave me 374 pages related to the Fair Access to Financial Services rule, and if we go through this really quick, you might notice that's the actual rule itself. There's a certain part of this. Oh, here we go. You start seeing lots of green pages because there are two sections of 40 pages redacted completely, and then there's another section of 100 plus pages. I want to say 180 pages all by itself that are redacted. So they gave me 374 pages, and then they redacted 2/3 of that. So very, very informative. The two actual takeaways that I got from this is that there was a letter from the Congress, both the House and Senate, representing 13 Democrats, mostly in Illinois, for some reason Illinois, trying to oppose this. And guess what the official reason why Democrats oppose people having free access to financial services is? And if you guess, here we go. The proposed rule would hinder banks' efforts to limit their exposure to risk extended to certain lines of business, and their exposure to climate-related risk in the fuel industry could undermine financial stability, and making it more difficult for banks to establish risk-based policies prohibiting lending to certain lines. Sorry. Certain lines of business, the proposal would create a chilling effect that would dissuade banks from implementing prudent risk assessment processes. So the official reason for not having fair access to financial services, according to the government, is that we need the banks by themselves, accountable to nobody, so that they can look down at certain businesses and make determinations on their own if the business that they're giving banking services to is too stinky and too dirty. So they try to make this about like fossil fuel industries, but it extends to, but they keep the door open for everything. It's not just like you can't lend to this oil rig. You can't lend to anybody. So this is like the climatology in a fucking nutshell. Is that it exists as a way to justify doing whatever the fuck they want. Over the past several years, economists Oh wait, this is the bank's existing risk management practices are flawed and insufficient and do not justify the decision of major banks to stop new Arctic oil and gas projects. Over the past years, economists, central bankers, financial regulators, asset managers, investors, assurance analysis, credit rating analysis, investment banking's real estate professionals, and scientists have produced an enormous volume of research warning that climate change and the failure to plan for an orderly transition to a low-carbon economy are capable of destabilizing the financial system. That's it. That's why you can't give money to whoever you want to, because the scientists and a collection of people that need to water the tree of liberty said that there is a significant financial risk in allowing banks to actually give financial services to anybody they want to. So there you go. That's the official Democrat line on why we can't have financial services. By the way, the only other thing that was not censored that I saw that wasn't just emails, like people like wishing each other a happy retirement and shit after this fucking bomb, is this. So this is the official reason that acting comptroller Blank Paulson gave. Subject: OCC puts hold on fair access rule. Date January 28th. This is 1 week after Biden took office. I wanted you to be aware of the agency's decision to pause publication of its rule to ensure large banks provide all customers fair access to their services. We proposed this rule in November 2020 to codify more than a decade of controller guidance stating that banks should conduct risk assessments of individual customers rather than making broad-based decisions affecting whole categories or classes of customers when providing access to their services, capital, and credit. Pausing publication of the rule in the Federal Register will allow the next confirmed controller of currency to review the final rule and public comments the OCC received as part of an orderly transition. That word, orderly, I hate that fucking word now. I've seen it twice in two different messages, and what it basically means is making sure that you play by their rules only, and that's considered orderly, and everything else is not orderly. Our guidance is that the bank should still be good boys. So that's it. Now, here's the real kicker. You ready? Blake Paulson was an acting controller of currency. We have not had a controller of currency for 5 years now. After the rule was published, that was then paused, and I don't know what the fuck that is. 1 second. I guess I can't catch a fucking break. I even buy a backup power supply so that if the power goes out, the computer doesn't turn off. Like, I have all this shit prepared, and then the power supply just like randomly blows a fuse and shuts off the computer anyways. Like, okay, great, wonderful. Anyways, what I was going to say is that the acting control of currency was never actually replaced. So it's been paused this entire time pending a controller of currency that simply is never going to be confirmed. So they have infinite reason to never confirm the new rule. Tess, you can hear me. Okay. Um. Anyways, so that's that. Let's put the hamster back on. I don't know what happened to him. Now I've completely lost my train of thought and momentum. A fucking son of a bitch. Oh, now every okay, we're just gonna have to deal with that shit. If it sucks too bad, I give up. Um, let's see what the melanated people are doing. The melanated people this time have erected a hideous she-beast. Like, it's not even that she's like fat or anything. It's okay. Some people can't see the statue, so this is a statue of a 12-foot tall, plus-sized African American woman that has been erected in the middle of Times Square. This kind of gives me vibes of like I don't know, when a country takes over another country and they just start electing like their own leaders as like statues in the middle of the public square. This is the leader. This is who owns you. Shaniqua. She's 400 pounds. She relies on Snap for her 5 kids that someone's got to take care of. Someone's got to pay for, and it's going to be you. And yeah, it's real. So, meanwhile, let's check in on the Whitey, see what Whitey is up to. One Whitey in particular, Shiloh. Now, I talked about her before and how her Kick, Set, and Go or whatever was on the up and up and making tons of money. However, here we have base trads like Catch the Rainbow, who says giving life-changing amounts of money to a tatted up trailer trash single mom because she called a kid the N-word out of envy for the Carmelo GoFundMe is idiotic and shows how weak the base right is. Now, let's break this down because I'm aware I did not do due diligence into this woman before I talked about her GoFundMe. As it turns out, she is not a single mom. She's in a relationship. Both of her kids are from the same father. She does have a tattoo. So if your religion is against tattoos, I guess she's not the woman for you. Trailer trash. I don't know. I don't know where she lives. She might live in a trailer, chat. I haven't seen her house. Maybe she lives in a trailer. Look, correct me if if in the white ethno state, by the way. Are we going to allow poor people to exist, or are we just going to like classify poor people as like not being white? Are we doing like the Milo Yiannopoulos conservatism, where if you're not tremendously wealthy and living in a brick home with like 3,000 square feet, are you like not worth? Do you deserve to exist? Can black people just steal from your child's diaper bag if you don't have a nice home already? Is that? I think if you have a nice home, you don't need to go to the park. You can just build a park in your own backyard. So that's why the rich people are immunized from such things. Um, So lots of people coming in and saying that she's a single mom, which is just not true. And I've seen this reiterated on Twitter, and it's just not true. There's even a guy that clips my streams and said that she's a single mom in the title, and it's just not true. She's not a single mom. She has 2 kids. It's like we need to prescribe this for all women who go to the park by themselves with their kids now. You need to wear a T-shirt and a hoodie, or a hoodie that says, I'm not a single mom. My boyfriend's at work. You know what I mean? Just so that if a black child decides to start stealing you or filming you on their phone, when you get posted to the internet against your will, people will be able to know, she's not a single mom. Her boyfriend's just at work. I feel like we need to insulate this. And you know what? The added benefit of a hoodie is that it covers up the sleeve tattoo, so that people who are offended by such things will not see it and won't have any reservations. Nothing to be done about the trailer, though, I guess. You just gotta fucking make more money, retard. What are you doing living in a trailer? It's not, I think I think I looked at trailer prices recently, because, like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy my own trailer. I'll buy 5 acres and plop my trailer down in the middle of it to be cheap. Trailers are like $120,000 now. They cost more than a fucking stick home if you're trying to buy like a nice one. So I don't know what the fuck. I think having your own trailer is a point of prestige at this point. Like, wow, you actually own that trailer outright and was built in the last 5 years. That's crazy. um. Anyways, so there's more developments with the Shiloh thing. Let me preload all this shit. Actually, okay. So first of all, I didn't properly cover this on my last stream, even though the information was already available. This guy who I called the hick, the lib hick or whatever, I might have mentioned this, but he has a habit of like posting weird, creepy pictures of women. Some of it seems to be like candid shots, like this woman's just sitting with her legs apart on the bus, so he takes a picture of her. He even is like pro public transit because he likes to take pictures like this. And then this, I don't know, this looks like a model that he hired. So I think he like dabbles in like nude photography, and it's hard to tell which like if that person on the bottom right consented or not. It doesn't look like it. This woman, he took a picture of a woman shitting. I'm pretty sure she did not consent. This mentally ill teen Haitian girl piss in a pile of leaves. But he says he has a great pleasure. So this guy is like a creepy weirdo sex pest in and of his own part. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's the one that blew up the Gibson Go to begin with. The Gibson Go was massively successful. In particular, the most expensive end tower ever assembled was put on display. Here we have Dr. E. Michael Friends for $2,006 saying N. Gamal Rudolph Respecter for 2005 saying I. Anonymous for 2004 saying G. Anonymous for 2003 saying G. Anonymous for 2002 saying E. And then Manfred von Richthofen for 2001 saying R. And you put those words together and you get a magical phrase, a magical word. So, so after this, of course, they shut off the comments. Just the comments. So after this guy, I feel bad for him because I have a feeling that he's just trying his best with the circumstances beset around him. But Jacob Wells, who's the chief executive of Gibson Go, disabled comments. And he says this. At Gibson Go, we recently disabled comments on the fundraising campaigns for Carmelo Anthony and Shiloh Hendrix due to the unacceptable volumes of racist and derogatory remarks. At the time the comments were turned off, both campaigns had raised approximately $500,000 with 15,000 donors each. We remain committed to ensuring all funds received are delivered to the campaign recipients as intended. However, we unequivocally condemn the hateful comments that sought to fuel division and harmful narratives. These remarks do not reflect our values of hope, compassion, and fairness. Our platform exists to support individuals and families in need and uphold the principles that everyone else deserves a fair process, not judgment by mob outrage. So, he's caught because in his the Carmelo Anthony thing, lots of people are tweeting "kill white people," basically, not tweeting but commenting "kill white people" as the comments to that. And he said it's called freedom of speech. Literally, that's what he said. So when it happens on the other side, he's like, "Uh oh." So everyone's like, "Oh, you fucking hypocrite, you anti-white racist." However, you know me. Number one, I'm a positive poly. It would be the easiest thing in the world for this fucking guy to just disable this campaign and refund all the donations. It would literally be two button presses for him to refund 100% of that money at this point in time and disable that campaign. But he didn't. He decided to go onto Twitter and eat tons of shit and press two different buttons to turn off the comments to try and look impartial. And I think that he is navigating a difficult sort of circumstances because, as it turns out, and just to recap the fundraiser here, she's at 750, Carmelo Anthony's at 525, and then the NAACP, which I don't know what the fuck this is for. I don't know. The NAACP in Rochester, Minnesota, is the recipient for this. So off the back of this woman calling a black person the N-word, they received almost $350,000. And I don't think it even says that it's going to the family of that kid that was called the N-word. This is just like a grift by the NAACP. And in fact, this is the first time I've heard of the NAACP doing anything in quite a while. They kind of are irrelevant these days. And unfortunately, God damn it. I was going to play a certain song, but unfortunately when my computer crashed, I lost the clip that I was going to play. It's a Johnny Rebel song, and he has this little lyric that's tucked in between the choruses that go something about how the NAACP can't wait to get their hands on, and then I can't say the rest, unfortunately, because that would be a terms of service violation for everyone. That's like outside of that song and this crowdfunder, I don't think I can name a single thing that the NAACP has accomplished in cultural influence in forever. But cool. Okay. Anyways, we're not just comparing dicks here. So this is actually so. Okay, before I go on my tirade, um, you guys, if you're a Medicare fan or were, you may recognize this story. Years ago, 2016, this guy was a trash collector, and he went up to a protest in Pennsylvania, and he got into a little bit of an argument, a heated argument, with the guys that were protesting. Oh, it's age restrict. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, I'll just play it on the other browser. The audio is the only thing that matters. Just look at his face and then imagine him making this sound. This video may be inappropriate for some users. Oh no. Let's see. Where's the good part? I think this is it. Oh, there it is. So the guy gets way up in his face. I can't show you the video because it's on the other browser. And then he puts a camera right in his face. So his reaction to do that was he ooked at him and then smirked very condescendingly at the black man who was valiantly recording him having a conflict. They immediately ran news articles about him doing racist tirades at the event. And the video has 1.6 million views. Again, he's a trash collector. He's not like a politician. He's just some fucking guy. So they doxed him and they got him fired. And this is the fucking trash company, MMC Land Management. Today we were disgusted to learn that one of MMC's former employees used racial slurs and made racially charged comments during a peaceful protest in Morris, Pennsylvania, outside of work hours at a location with which we have no affiliation. Just establishing absolutely nothing to do with his fucking job. We are sorry that this incident occurred. Whether at work or not, we do not condone hate speech ever. Inclusion and diversity are among MMC's core values. Yes, Queen. More black woman trash collectors. More Pajit trash collectors. More black men shoveling fucking trash. That's what I want to see. That's the future I want. I stand behind MMC Land Management 100%, chat. We believe in equality for everyone, regardless of race, age, gender identity, blah, 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 blah. We have terminated the employee and will never do business with him again. I assume that means we're also not going to collect his trash. He can deposit his own trash wherever he sees fit, but it won't be in the prestigious garbage landfills of MMC Land Management. So 10 years ago, this guy got fired from his job for ooking. As Medicare said, ooking in the first degree. And for some reason, this is a story that's always stuck with me because this guy is at the bottom of the fucking totem pole. If you're a man and you're trying to work a job, being a garbage collector is as low as it fucking gets. Like, that's the kind of job that the Indians give their untouchable class. The people who handle trash and sweep it up and roll around in animal shit. Like, that's the job that you give the people that you don't like already. And this guy ooked in the first degree. And so he can't collect garbage anymore. And I'm just like, they really do want you just to fucking die. If you say something that they don't like, there is no job on this planet that they want for you. They want to fire you, and then I'm sure they want to add controls so that you can't collect SNAP if you were fired for ooking in the first degree. And I don't know. I've never forgotten about this story ever. It was one of the most memorable things I ever saw discussed by Medicare, because it's just like, what a fucking racket. That if you offend the wrong person of the ruling elite's chosen skin tone, then you can't even roll up on a fucking garbage collection bin and for cash. You're not allowed to work and feed yourself. So I'm really happy that in this 9 years things have improved substantially, and that ooking in the first degree is now actually worth $750,000. I'm sure that this guy would have preferred. Would have preferred that be the outcome of his event, but such is life. Anyways, so black folk is not having a good time about this. They got one-upped by the whitey, and in particular, Keandrea, who is like an influencer on Instagram, she has decided to take up a crusade. Dun, 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 dun. She's raised her sword and says, come on, y'all. Let's go out there and make a difference for black kids. So she said, Shiloh Hendrix went viral for calling a black child the N-word, then raised $400,000 on Gibson Go. That's not free speech. That's funding hate. Turns out the payment processor behind it is Block Inc. Yes, Square, and they ban hate speech. So if you're mad, don't just talk about it. Hit them where it hurts. The payment processor. Here's how. Then she outlines how to pressure Block. And, in fact, as a consequence of this, let me see if I can pull this up just really quick, just to show you that this is not like she got millions and millions and millions of eyes on these tweets. There we go. So it's not just like, oh, she said to do this and black folk done did it. This is the Block is a publicly traded company owned by Jack Dorsey, and it dropped by $12, more than 10% since the start of the month as a result of this outrage, because they were associated with Gibson Go, which just so happened to have a campaign which Keandrea said was racist. However, there's a problem. Block and our brands, including Square and Cash App, have never been the payment processor for Gibson Go and have not conducted any payment processing whatsoever for this fundraiser. They weren't even the payment processor. Keandrea banged on this and sent tens of thousands of black people to go to harass the support structure for Block, crash their stock by 10%, which is billions of dollars of what's the word? Of net worth, I don't know. It's the number of when you apply the number of stock price by the price of the stock. Like millions and millions of dollars of damage. Market cap. That's right. Millions of dollars of market cap valuation just completely wiped off the fucking board because of Keandrea telling black people to go complain. They didn't have anything to do with it. So, like, number one, the fact that this bitch thinks, and look at this, she's saying that she's scraping the HTML. HTML and JavaScript update in real time. If a payment processor is still showing up in the website source code, it's because they're still connected. You don't get to claim you cut ties 3 years ago when your code is still live today. That's not how the lowercase I internet works. This bitch is fucking retarded. This retarded ass fucking hoe, ratchet ass, nappy fucking headed hoe is sitting there looking at the HTML going, I see words like Block and Square. This must mean it's the payment processor. And then when they come out and officially state they have nothing to fucking do with this organization, then she still bangs on about it. So Safa, you decided that you wanted to ban hate speech. It's in your terms of service. You decided to go after every single person who's ever said anything you don't like for years and years and years and years. And now your market cap is being wiped out by a fucking retard who can't even figure out what the payment processor is. You know, there's a 100% verifiable way to do that without even looking at the HTML. But she's pretending that she's like a dark hat, black hat hacker, and she's figuring out in real time what the HTML is. And it's just like, it's fucking nonsense. So this is what Jacob Wells is tiptoeing around, is that you have these vultures, these fucking parasites on our society. What does Keandrea do? Do you know what the net income is for a black person in the United States? If you are Keandrea, I think that your net impact to the GDP of the United States is negative $13,000. I've seen a graph once, and it was like the average white person generates like $45,000 in tax income. The average black person generates negative $13,000 in tax income every year because they are on benefits. The overwhelming majority of them are in some form of either SNAP, EBT, Medicaid, like child support, Section 8. They're net deficit, and then they go out and they blow up legitimate businesses that earn income and earn tax income. And for some reason, we pretend that this is a thing that we have to tolerate. The fact is, we don't have to tolerate it. We don't have to tolerate it at all. Never again do we have to look at Keandrea and give a fuck what this fucking retard has to say. Because even when she has the full backing and support of the entire Big B black community, she puts it towards devaluating a company that has literally nothing to fucking do with the cause that she's angry about. I hate how these people always go after the fucking money And it started with FDR, and that's why FDR is permanently burning in hell. In case you're wondering what happened to FDR, Satan pushed him off his wheelchair, and now he's going down an infinite spiral staircases that's burning fucking hot, because FDR was the first to go after people's income, and it started with Social Justice, a pro-German newspaper in the 1930s. He was the first one. He got them, the FCC to revoke his license. He tried to get the U.S. Post to stop delivering his newsletter. They forced that guy into fucking isolation. And ever since then, it's always been go after their fucking money. So FDR is burning in fucking hell. Even right now, he's rolling down that staircase forever. There's other reactions from other people. Nick Fuentes has had a bipolar reaction where he's supported it, but also not supported it. The Groypers, I'll just say this. They've been posting, like, violent gore in relation to, like, Shiloh Hendrix and shit. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them. Like, anyone who still considers himself a Groyper needs to be on a watch list and put into a fucking asylum or something. But this is what our base black ally has to say. Wait, that's not it. Oh, where's the, Oh, it's the next one. No, it's not. Where the fuck is it? I just had it up. There's some fucking asshole, Marion Gaines. I swear that it was on this one. Whatever. Actually, no, I'm angry enough. I hate these fucking people, and I need to show you guys what this fucking retard says. Here we go. Okay, it's a different post. I found it. Okay, so this is Marion Gaines. So this is your base red pill conservative manosphere guy. You ready? Why are all white women literally the same person? Holy shit. No originality or interest in personality traits at all. Attractive but useless. If you've been with one, you've been with them all. Canadian Patriot asks, all white women, you know that's wrong, but you're intentionally spreading anti-white garbage. Go fuck yourself. Myron Gaines also says, sorry, Marion's a woman's name. Myron is his name. Cry harder, bitch-ass blue pill simpa. These white women would rather fuck black NFL player than you. How does that make you feel? Change your name to Canadian cuck. Even worse, why is a woman not in the kitchen? Go tell your fellow white women to stop fucking blacks. Shout out to the white guys in here crying for making fun of their white queens. Granted, these hoes fuck niggas, while you dumbasses over here simping for in my comment section. This is why red pill awareness on race without being red pill aware on women is useless. These hoes will take the D1 NFL NBA athlete over yo dumbass any day. Cry harder. Well, in this instance, considering that she has 2 white kids and is still with the father of her children, unlike 80% of black children, I feel like she didn't pick the NFL NBA player. Isn't that crazy? She was surrounded by them in the park, but she called them the N-word instead, Marin. It's just like there's no way to have a peaceful association, because that's what they default to. Yeah, all these fucking retards like Drexel and Myron, who people think are like based on like, oh, man, this guy is like, he knows how to like defeat the simpas and shit. Nah, man. And then I already talked about Nick. And then guess what? She apparently has gotten her money. Shiloh has secured the bag. We are excited to announce that Shiloh Hendrix has received her first disbursement from Gibson Go, and that the amount was substantial, but we're withholding the full amount until futures are paid out. Let me tell you, I said this before. Everybody got mad at the Jacob Wells guy for not taking down the GoFundMe. I am completely 100% fucking vindicated, and I don't want anyone to give me any of that fucking shit ever again moving forward. No, he should not have taken down the Carmelo Anthony. I don't give a fuck. Yes, he's a murderer. Guess what? People murder each other all the fucking time. They deserve a defense. They deserve a legal fundraiser. They deserve the access to the money that people want to send them. 100% never fucking back down on this. I don't give a shit who it is. You win by winning. Getting $500,000 a payout because Jacob Wells stood up for your campaign and allowed it to exist and run and be a complete fucking shit show on the internet for a month. That requires tenacity. I don't give a fuck if he's like some woke Christian type who's like, only thing that matters is Jesus and all of us are equal before the Lord and that kind of shit. Doesn't matter. You win through one mechanism, chat. There's only one qualifier for winning, and that is winning. If you do not win, you lose. You can never win by losing. Don't get it twisted. You'll never, ever win by advocating against your own interests. Isn't that neat? Next, I actually have a lot of news to talk about this stream. The India-Pakistan border conflict, which has always been held as a flashpoint for World War III. If you don't know, the Jammu and Kashmir regions are in the northwestern part of India. The kind of weird-looking head, if you look at the silhouette of the country. Jammu and Kashmir are contested territories between Pakistan, India, and China. All three of them have different ideas of how that border should look. All three of them happen to be nuclear countries. So this has always been a long-standing contention that that area would be a possible reason for a world war. The only reason why it has not resulted in a mass conflict for the decades that it's been in contention is that there is nothing there. There is literally nothing in that region. I think it's like a bunch of Muslims and Sikhs and Hindus. And they, there's like absolutely no strategic, except for Pakistan, which I'll mention. But if there was like a lithium deposit, that shit would be Jammu and Kemi, and it would be Chinese, and that would be the end of it. Okay, all they need to do is find they don't even need to find a proper lithium deposit. They just have to find like a warehouse filled with lithium batteries. And I think China would just take it over at that point. The main thing is that Pakistan. Okay, yes, I understand, chat. Let me get to that. Pakistan is a shithole. It's a dry desert shithole, and it relies on a specific source that comes off the Himalayan mountain range for water. 100% of their fresh water comes from the Himalayan mountains, which upstream from Pakistan is Jammu and Kashmir. So India, I can't even remember why. There was like some border conflict because there's like a network of terrorists or whatever that have been active in Jammu and Kashmir for decades. So they cut off the fresh water supply to Pakistan through these rivers. So now like 100% of Pakistan is in a drought. So the only option that Pakistan really has is to try and take back Jammu and Kashmir and secure the water source coming from the Himalayan mountains. So surprised Pakistan hasn't bombed the dams. That would cause flooding, so it's a bad idea. Yeah, I mean it's already a bad place where you're having to ask for water from India. Like you're already just getting septic diarrhea into your fucking mouth, but I guess they have the capacity to filter that out to remove 99% of the curry, but they're already in a humiliating position. So Pakistan like has 100% of their interests in trying to take that territory. There's another situation like this in the Middle East, because when the fucking Angloids carved up the Middle East and India, they did a terrible job, and they basically ensured that there would be endless forever wars in the Middle East and India. There's another one where it's like the two rivers, the famous rivers of Mesopotamia, which is modern day Iraq. They have a source that's upstream. I want to say in like Turkey, and it's a really big deal that Turkey keeps fucking with their water. I think that was the plan. I don't know. Angloids are pretty fucking evil, but they're also stupid. So you have to make a judgment call on if they're being stupid or evil and or a little bit of both. But there's another thing like that where it's like Iraq has a the two Mesopotamian rivers go through, and that's also like a source in the mountains of the Anatolias or something. Yeah, the Tigris and Euphrates. That's it. But yeah, so they're gonna fight over it, and then maybe China will step in. I'm obviously, Chad, I'm rooting for China. So here's what's gonna happen: India is going to make gains because they're like the much bigger country, and they're gonna start pushing back, right? And they're gonna say no more drinking water for you ever. We're going to actually just dump all of the sewage for the entire country into this waterway now, and we're gonna fucking drown you in our poo. After that, Chad, obviously, for the purposes of humanitarian interests, not for territorial gains, chat, never would be. China will have to step in and secure Jammu and Kashmir as a specially controlled territory that is not a part of their sovereignty, but it's a military occupation zone for humanitarian purposes. That's what's going to happen. China will save the Pakistanis and will become a friend to the Muslim world, even more so than it already is. I remember there was a speech in 2002 where Ron Paul was trying to talk about how I have this actually clipped and featured on my personal YouTube channel if you want to look it up. But Ron Paul was giving like his predictions for the next 10 years, and he said that China would drift away from American interests and start befriending the Muslim countries that we've already alienated by our endless support of Israel. So that was Ron Paul's thing. He even said that the Israeli occupation of Palestine was a humiliation, that the Middle East would never give up, and China would eventually take advantage of that. If you want to listen to Ron Paul, there's a clip from 2002 where he talks about this. Anyways, nobody really cares about this, if you can believe it. Like, the stock market seems unaffected by the fact that there's like a hot war between Pakistan and India. Nobody really seems to care. Let's see a little bomb go off, I guess. Bam! I mean, you almost get blown up by a bomb and you just start going Allahu Akbar. Do they have any other reaction? I don't think they have any other reaction. They just see anything, they go Allahu Akbar. Oh, damn, look, a bunch of people just got murdered by a fucking bomb from our enemy attacking us. Allahu Akbar. Awesome. India says that it has attacked 9 different sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian, it's called Operation Sindoor, but I think that people have referred to it as the Sardor. There's a couple different fun Indian names. The Poo Jeets, the jets, they're just called the Jeets now. They're flying over, bombing Pakistan. What was the other one? Guys, listen. On Kick, there is a bot that is managed by it's machine learning. And if you say certain words, it does not, it automatically deletes your post. There's nobody deleting your post. It even says that it's deleted by a moderator. So it's by AI when you post it. So it's like, I don't know what you want me to do. It's already on minimum settings. And I would really appreciate it if people just stop spamming the chat because it makes the stream like illegible. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, I'll take a look at it. But I'm telling you right now that it's like a automated program, and I would just really prefer people didn't spam the chat, like playing with it. Anyways, so while that was happening, this I did not cover because Trump gets impeached like every 30 seconds in his last election. And there's no point in talking about it like every single time it happens. But now that we have a full-blown war with India and I get to make fun of Indians some more, I feel like I can talk about it a little bit more than I usually would. So let's play this. I hate how he looks, by the way. He's like the grossest looking guy. Oh my god, he can't even speak English. Bro, he's in Congress. He's in fucking Congress for this country. And he can't even speak English. Hey, can we deport these fucking people? We do not need Ilhan Omar and this fucking retard that can't even speak the fucking language in our Congress. Oh, you can't hear it.
Unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling. That has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact.
I hate this fucking guy. I hate how he fucking sounds. I hate how he fucking looks. He's 68 years old and he looks like he's been hit with so much cosmetic surgery that it's like this. It's just disgusting looking at him. I'm gonna be real. And then, of course, the Indian war breaks out, and our boy, Shri Tananda, who is, of course, very, very interested in American politics. He is a representative in the United States Congress, so therefore he cares a great deal about the American people. This is his pro-American policy statement. He says, today, India struck terrorist infrastructure following the horrific attack in Jammu and Kashmir, which claimed the lives of at least 28 innocent civilians and injured more than 20 others. Terrorism cannot be tolerated and it cannot go unanswered. India has the right to defend its people, and I stand firmly with our ally in its... India is not our ally. India is explicitly not our fucking ally. It's in the non-aligned movement. It's not in the Commonwealth of Nations. It's not in fucking NATO. It is in no way, shape, or form an ally of the United States. And in fact, it is expressly the fucking opposite. It has made several political statements and joined several organizations that is the not America or movement. They are outside of the sphere of the American empire by choice. You cannot say that they are our ally because they are in no way, shape, or form in any way or ever have been a member of an ally of the United States. I think at one point when it was like British controlled India, they were participatory in World War II against Japan. But I mean, so was China. They're not our ally. What's the fucking deal? Oh my god, I'm getting sub bombs, chat. I can't even believe it. I have to figure out a way to make that like an actual notice. In our efforts to dismantle these extremist networks, the United States should always stand with our allies, even though they are not our allies and have explicitly joined the non-aligned movement against terrorism. It is time for a deeper U.S.-India cooperation to confront shared threats, protect innocent lives, and defend the principles of democracy, human rights, and religious freedoms. yeah, please, let's give weapons and munitions and money to our not ally, which is a ethnic religious hegemon of Indian Hindus in our crusade for human rights and religious freedoms. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, by the way, India, if you want to talk about being our ally, do you want to know what the number one importer of Russian oil is after the sanctions? India! Do you want to know what the number two trade partner of Russia is right now? India! They're fucking, like, helping Russia circumvent all of our sanctions. So we're proxy warring with Russia in Ukraine, and our great ally India is buying all of their shit to help them finance the war. So I don't know, pick a fucking side. Which side of human rights and democracy are we defending? Because it has to be Ukraine or it can be India. It can't be both. If you support India, you support sending money to Russia, which is going to use that to blow the fuck up out of Ukraine. So you got to pick one, buddy. Then we have this. Bruce posted this. Just as a look at Canada's suffering. So America is not the only thing suffering. Here we have a white woman who's a Sikh convert wearing a turban to sell cars.
In stock saddi ko 2025 Honda Civic Sports हैगी है. You can own this car in only $290 bi-weekly with $0 down. For best deals, oना कित्थे हैं? Khadwa.
Ooh, look at that. Hey, I want you to, can we get a posture check on this?
$0 down. For best deals, oना कित्थे हैं?
So, like nervously rubbing her arm and then looking away.
Khadwa. The is down. For best deals, oना कित्थे हैं? Khadwa.
Looking away for approval and rubbing her arm nervously. Interesting. While doing a fake Indian accent because she's obviously Canadian. Hello, my good sirs. It is me. I am a white woman. I am going to sell you a car. Isn't that disgusting, chat, that these white women in Canada are converting to the enemy's religion and even taking their accents? Oh, wait, maybe she's nervously looking around and comforting herself by rubbing her arm because she's the victim of sex trafficking. Here she is. Police asked for public's help to find missing girl 13. And this is the woman with her boyfriend in Canada. Wow, isn't that interesting that she looks just fucking like her? Huh. So we have a 15-year-old sex trafficking victim putting on a fake Indian accent to sell cars in Canada in broad fucking daylight. And by the way, the Indians have given her bad reviews because guess what? She says, Hello, Brompton Confessions. Please make an updated post about 15 to 16-year-old blank. Her new TikTok, another post needs to be made about how she is misusing people in our Sikh community. She keeps getting away with it and even putting innocent people behind bars. She claims to be married, but how can a little girl be married? But yeah, all of Hamilton and the GTA has fucked with her and faced consequences. Aware these are good or bad people, not to spoil their life with their homes. She's not to fuck around with people's lives. She has no shame. So she is being pimped out by this guy. And the entire Indian community in Hampton or whatever has fucked her, and some of them have gone to jail. And the Indian Sikh reaction to the news of this sex trafficking victim is underage is not, we should not be fucking her because she's an underage sex trafficking victim. It's, be careful, people have been arrested for having sex with her. And that is the situation in Canada. Openly selling cars with a 15-year-old sex trafficking victim. And the Indian community's reaction to this information is that you got to be careful because people are going to jail for having sex with an underage prostitute that's in sexual slavery chat. Awesome. We honestly, we just need to, after we sort out our own shit, we're going to go up north and we're going to clean out all the fucking Indians and we're going to take Canada. It has to happen at this point. Remember, we're not just fighting for our future. We're fighting for a future for retards in Canada as well. And then not only does the USA suffer from Pajeets, not only does India suffer from Pajeets, not only does Pakistan suffer from Pajeets, not only does Canada suffer from Pajeets, my boys in the UK. Obviously, I gotta bring you into this. This is the foreign minister for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the UK. Let's see what he's got to say about India right now.
Rewind to when I became Foreign Secretary. I visited India in my first weeks in office. In March, I invited Minister Jaishankar to be my first guest at CHIN. And now today, we've made history together. Our landmark trade deal with India is a gateway to prosperity for both nations. This 43 billion trading partnership opens doors for British businesses from Scottish distilleries to Welsh manufacturers, connecting them to 1 billion Indian consumers. And our investment relationship already supports 600,000 jobs across both economies. As India rockets towards becoming the world's third largest economy, we're delivering on our promise, strategic partnerships that drive growth across every corner of the UK. This is just the floor, not the ceiling, of our ambitions together.
So the trade deal basically makes it very easy for foreign Indian immigrants to come to the United Kingdom legally. And while they're there as part of the trade negotiation under the terms of this visa, they don't have to pay any taxes into any of the British social security systems. So basically what's going to happen is that all these Indians will flood into the economy. They'll take up every job in the United Kingdom. And because they don't have to pay taxes, they can be paid much less. And while they're there, they're going to take up housing and increase the price of housing. Indians are very happy to sleep 8 to a room. So the cost of everything is going to go way the fuck up. All the groceries, all the utilities, all the cost of everything is going to go way the fuck up in the UK. And while they're there, they're not going to build up your medical system. They're not going to build up the NHS. They're not going to build up your pension system. They pay no taxes into anything that they don't actually, except for like general taxes. So the UK is being properly fucking pillaged, and they can't do anything about it, and they never will. And it's just a doomed, shitty fucking country forever. Awesome. It's called being colonized. Don't like it, huh? Huh. Okay. Now we got some Troon news, chat. Some Troon news. So the Football Association bans transgender women from women's football. Transgender women will not be able to play in women's football in England from the 1st of June. So while Indians are mass invading the country and sexually enslaving girls to sell cars and suck Jeet dick, at least you guys won't see any trannies in women's football, which I know everyone loves. When you think about the UK, you just know they're all huge fans of women's football. Okay, good for them. So one of the things that went to the Supreme Court and had a hold placed on it after Trump enacted a rule was if Trump could decide that transgenders cannot participate in the military. The Supreme Court has allowed him to enforce the troop ban, but the case has not been resolved yet. So there is no stay on this. He's just allowed to do it, which is a good thing. I remind you that we have women in the military. We have women that we have when it comes to the Navy, some of the larger ships are co-ed. They have separated dorms, like they have women's dorms. But with the submarines in particular, they are not co-ed. So we in the U.S. Navy, we do have nuclear submarines that are 100% operated by women. So I want you to imagine Das Boot, if you've watched that movie, and how cramped and claustrophobic and shitty a submarine is, and how it stays at sea for, like, I think months at a time. And then you fill that full of young women between the ages of, like, 18 and 26, who are all physically fit, and then you put in a hulking she-beast tranny. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that that is appropriate? That is an actual benefit to our military and our national strategic defense across the world and our seas? No, I don't think that that actually happens. I don't think that's a good idea. Stop! I have allergies. What do you want me to do? I can close the fucking door. I took my my Sudafed, so I don't know. Look, I'm just sniffly. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's not a good idea. Obviously, this is the right choice. More on trainings, though. I regret to inform everybody that they have added a actual proper tranny, gendered trans woman. They have to make that explicit. They can't just say. It even gave him like 5 o'clock shadow, dude. They gave him like a little one of those little pencil stashes, like the creepy guy from the Addams Family has. And it's like, he has like a receding Norwood 1 hairline and shit, dude. So, I don't know. Maybe they added just so that you can stab him to death. That would be funny. So somebody should take the character on. There are these simple, special like kill moves in the game called Mortys. Or Morta, I don't know what they're called. There's something like that. But they have like a special animation. Someone should collect a Morty, like the animation of every killer of just Aurella Rose, and see if Dead by Daylight tries to like DMCA that. That would be funny. It might get banned from YouTube if we try to do that. By the way, I was very, very hesitant when I first heard this news because this game studio has not put out a single good thing in ever. Since like 10 years. And they continually fuck up and make like the most incomplete, shitty fucking games ever made. And then they try to charge you out the ass for DLC that they fix up over 10 years before the game becomes playable. But Europa Universalis 5 is coming out. If you don't know, Europa Universalis 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. I have 2,000 hours in Europa Universalis. I keep coming back to it. I like to play Naj. I got into Majda Hoppet for a while. Well, I don't like Naj anymore. I like Oman. I like Majda Hoppet. I like my current run is Cologne into Germany. I'm doing really well. I'm gonna post a picture of my Germany when I form it, but I don't usually play in the HRE, but I'm actually kicking fucking ass. So when EU5 comes out, and it looks great. It looks like the perfect, like a dream blend of Crusader Kings, Victoria, and Europa Universalis. When this game comes out, depending on my situation and if I have the time, I might marathon for 12 fucking hours straight live a run of EU5 on Kick. Just like day one, download that shit. I'm going to stream 60 frames per second 4K map games of me playing. I'm not sure. I might, because it's a hard game and you save scum a lot. If you don't know what you're doing. So I'm deciding if I want to do Ireland or Holland as my first game, but I might do it. You can't expel the Jews anymore. They got rid of that. I know they have like cultural tolerances in it, but in Victoria 3, you can discriminate against the Jews. It's hard, but you can do it. But I don't know if they're going to add that to EU5. No saves coming. It's the first game, bro. I'm not going to do it unless it's like the game's just fucking over, but it's not going to restart. I just want to play the entire thing from start to finish. And I figure I might as well stream it, because why not? Italy's hard, man. I mean, you could make an argument for playing the Papal States. That could be fun, but maybe Italy. I do like to play the Papal States a lot too. That's one of my favorite countries. Just because I like to make the Kingdom of God, which is when you form Italy as the Papal States, and then I like to go super hard into Navy, and then declare war on the Ottomans and just blockade them until their war exhaustion is 20, and then they collapse into rebels, and it's the most satisfying thing. I like to do that a lot. Anyway, in German, I think the Papal States are called the Kirchestaat or something. As it just means like church state. Anyways, next, the EA, the most wonderful game developer company of all time, has filed a DMCA against a mod community because the mod published was a mod that removed black people and gays from Sims 4. So all the pre-existing households in Sims 4, everybody was made white, and all the gay relationships were changed from like married to brother. So the EA has tried to enforce a DMCA against this content. The author of the mod has actually answered the DMCA, has filed a counter DMCA, saying that it's fair use, because it is. And I just want to remind everybody again that the DMCA is up there along with credit card processors and one of the most anti-creativity, anti-freedom things that exists. I'm currently having a spat. There's this Turkish company called Rolta, which is incorporated in Estonia for tax evasion purposes, and they send out automated DMCAs. In particular, they're trying to censor any kind of link about Buffalo Grill, the gross tranny that goes out on TikTok and live streams. And then if anyone accidentally says "sir," he like freaks out about them. That person, I've showed him on stream before. He has an OnlyFans too. So this company is like desperately trying to censor any of this shit from the internet. And it's just like, it's a Turkish company out of Estonia filing for content from a Grand Cayman company owned by a Jewish Israeli. And it's like, none of this shit has anything to do with America, but they're somehow allowed to bully American companies into compliance or fighting this bullshit, and they can use an automated script because there's nothing that I can do about it. I can't sue them. Like, they know it's fraudulent. They don't give a fuck, and it's like, I have to care. I have to play along with the process because it's my liability, and I suffer no liability. The DMCA has to be completely fucking eradicated. Chris, by the way, has DMCA'd the Sonichu animated series. So on our third strike for this bullshit, Gino Samuel has been doing an animated series for Sonichu because that's like his thing. And Chris Chan had an issue with it, so he's just going to give up. Here he is in China.
Hey y'all, so Christine Weston Chandler copyright striked my channel, and which caused the removal of Sonichu, the animated series episodes 1 and 2. Unfortunate, but of course that's going to happen. It is her artwork, so it's totally understandable.
Cock!
I guess I'm done with that project. It's been fun while it lasted. So if you're
cock, what a fucking cock! I don't know what the series is, but like, did you like pay an animator to animate the Chris Chan artwork, and you're gonna be like, oh, well, I guess it is her work. I don't know what kind of fucking gimpy-ass fucking Scandinavian accent he has, but, like, that's so fucking sad and pathetic. He just rolls over. Yeah, the retarded person is going to sue you for animating Sonichu, you fucking gimp. Maybe if you suck a little bit more of her prostate, she'll let you animate.
Pledging to my Patreon, totally understand that you might want to leave if you don't want to support my other work. So, in the meantime, I guess I'll just focus my energy on other things like the Comprehensive History Remaster and re-release over there, and the eventual return of the series, in addition to my other documentary projects and my other music. So check out Gino Samuel 3 for documentaries, and Gino Samuel on YouTube for my music. And I guess I'll see you when I see you over here. Till next time.
You know, it's completely okay to say that somebody doesn't deserve any rights. You know, that's what I say. Like, oh, well, you have to respect their intellectual property rights. No, you don't. You know what I think about their intellectual property rights? I think I can wipe my fucking ass with them. I don't think anybody should be able to. I don't think you should be able to enforce a monopoly over anything that you make. My shit gets clipped all the fucking time. I don't give a fuck. When Europa Universalis 5 comes out, you know what? Even if I could pirate it, which I could because it's a single player fucking game, I'm going to buy it because I like to having it on Steam and I like to support the company that makes one of my favorite games. I don't think that, and I don't think that's a minority because piracy does not stop game sales. It's been around continuously and they still make all the fucking money in the world. I just can't stand it, no. Like, I pay for quality streaming services that pay kickbacks for all the music and shit that I listen to. And it's like, I don't pirate music anymore unless I can't find it. And it's like, people pay for this shit. I hate it. It's so anti-creativity. It's so anti-thought. You can't have certain thoughts and make it into reality because somebody might get offended. They might not like the idea, so they're going to say that's a copyright violation. I just can't fucking stand it. And the lobbies, the moneyed interests behind it are so big that it's never going to change. I think I have a better chance of fixing payment processors than I do getting rid of the fucking DMCA. I'm part of the problem? I don't think so. I mean, I don't, listen, my theory is this. I don't buy or pay or play at all shit that is conspiring against me at all. Like, I canceled my YouTube subscription. I just use ad block because I have to use YouTube for shit. So I do, but I use ad block. If it's a game by a company that is like woke and the game is fucking woke, I just don't buy it. I never bought that the Kingdom Come Deliverance game. I didn't buy any of the Dragon Age games. I don't buy any of that shit. I don't support it. I don't want to play it. I don't watch the movies that suck, you know? I just keep it out of my mind entirely. Where it's like, why would I ever want to engage or promote or discuss or participate in something that is rancid and shitty? I am making a difference. I am making a difference by completely abstaining from shit that hates me. And it doesn't, like, at that point, it doesn't matter if, I think it matters even less, because it's like, if I talk about a game that hates me, it's like, I'm promoting it in some way. And if I just do something else, then that's fine. Did I buy Dustborn? I did buy Dustborn. But to be fair, I did stream it. Part of the reason why I bought it is because, I was streaming it. And I feel like if there's ever like a copyright complaint for the footage, it bolsters my defense to say that I paid for the game. Same with Life is Strange. But if I'm not streaming it to laugh at it, then I don't participate in it. Okay, this is an update on Hector Martin. Hector Martin, who's recently burning up into smoke and flames over being ousted from the FOSS community by his own hand, is now chimping the fuck out at one of his longest friends. So this is asahelena.com/lunaabuse. This is very, very fucking long. So let's just read the intro paragraph. And I remind you that this is Hector Martin's real friend. Oh, he even puts his the Twitter and Blue Sky up at the front. So that, Luna Foxgirl VT.foxgirls.gay. Do you think this Luna Foxgirl VTuber at foxgirls.gay is a woman? Probably, chat. In August 2024, I ended my friendship with Luna the Foxgirl, the creator of Inochi2D and a former I guess Inochi2D is like a VTuber platform that's like open source. And a former collaborator in the VTubing and open source communities. I had contributed significantly to her project, and for a time I genuinely believed that we shared common goals. That changed after a serious breakdown in our friendship triggered by repeated incidents of threatening behavior beginning in January 2024. Following the publication of my initial statement detailing these events, I made the choice to step back publicly, hoping that silence and time would encourage de-escalation. Instead, Luna's campaign intensified, Despite my complete disengagement, she continued targeting me, both publicly and behind the scenes, damaging my reputation, undermining personal and professional relationships, and ultimately forcing me to resign from Apple GPU driver development, a role I was deeply passionate about. I think he was not forced to resign. I think he was like a fucking retard, and he gave up in like a tizzy. I've been in therapy. So, Luna the Fox Girl VT of Fox Girls That Gay. The impact has been overwhelming. I've been in therapy for over a year. Much of it dedicated to processing the stress and anxiety of this situation. I gotta say, that sounds like a total Luna Fox Girl VT at Fox Girls That Gay victory over Hector Martin. If you've been driven into a fucking shrink's office because of it, I think they are winning on all fronts. There have been periods this year where I've struggled to function, sleepless nights, severe depression cycles, and days lost to spiraling from the emotional toll of her public posts and personal attacks. Luna has repeatedly framed herself as the sole victim, leveraging personal mental health struggles to Okay, so when Luna the Fox Girl VT at Fox Girls That Gay says, I have mental health issues and it's being exacerbated by this conflict, then that is redirecting to avoid accountability. But when you say you've been in therapy for over a year and are sleepless, depressed, and losing days to emotional tolls, that's not redirecting accountability onto your mental health. That's actually just the reality of the situation, bigot. Okay, I got you. While I once hoped this behavior came from a place of unhealed trauma, the continued escalation suggests a pattern of manipulation, particularly harmful when aimed at those who are also part of vulnerable communities. I urge readers to examine claims critically and rely on evidence rather than emotional framing. So, I'm not going to read all of this. Can I search Kiwi Farms? Let's do that real quick. Oh, fuck yeah. After the initials, it's like right in the first fucking paragraph. Following the release of my August 2024 statement, Luna briefly expressed remorse. This occurred only after it became clear that her Discord messages had been captured by Kiwi Farms agents, individuals known for orchestrating harassment campaigns against VTubers and the LGBTQ+ creators. Oh no, Luna the Fox Girl at Fox Girls That Gay is in the perfect middle of this. They are a trans queen, transbian, and also a VTuber. Dun dun dun. Their posts were fueled renewed attacks on me and several others. Okay, let's see if there's another keyword. Oh yeah, there is. Perhaps the most distressing was what I discovered in a screenshot of her current public Discord server shared during periods of her doxing campaigns. Members, encouraged by her narrative, dismissed my identity and openly justified the doxing as acceptable. This space, meant to be a community, mirrored the tone and behavior I've come to associate with known harassment forums like Kiwi Farms. While the language was sanitized, the intent and cruelty were unmistakable. Since my VTuber debut, I have been the recurring target of an online harassment from extremist forums such as Kiwi Farms, an unfortunately common experience for marginalized creators in tech and VTubing spaces. For the most part, I've developed strategies to minimize their impact, avoid engagement, block aggressively, and avoid offering material that can be twisted into further harassment, such as like chimping the fuck out, abandoning all your projects, and getting into public slap fights with someone called Luna the Fox Girl, a VTuber. Okay, great job. Wonderful mitigation strategies. That approach was effective until Luna's public and private attacks began. In August 2024, Luna leaked private information about me with her public Discord server. These messages were quickly harvested by Kiwi Farms agents, who have been lurking there, and used to intensify their coordinated harassment campaign against me and several other LGBTQIP+ individuals. Initially, Luna expressed remorse. She deleted the Discord server and claimed to take steps towards mitigating further harm, but this remorse proved temporary. Let's see. So this is an accusation. Luna the Fox Girl says, I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive myself for some of the horrible things I did, but I've taken those things and used them to do positive things with now. I won't ever forgive myself for intentionally bullying someone to the point of attempting suicide. Is that in regards to Bu? Oh, someone named Cyan. Like cyanide, which I assume is how they attempted suicide. Very base. That's a very base and red-pilled way to commit suicide, chat. I don't think anybody will get that joke. Luna has admitted to mutuals that she once bullied another LGBTQIP plus individual into a suicide attempt, a person whose fate remains unknown. Oh, so he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know anything about this, but it's just gonna harp on it anyways. These events happened prior to Luna's transition. Unbelievable, chat. Hector Martin just outed Luna the Fox Girl as a trans woman. I can't believe that. You know, some people don't want to come out as trans. You know, it's a very dangerous world for trans people these days, Hector. And you're out here blasting this information, outing them, taking them out of the closet, despite the fact that there could be Kiwi Farms agents, by your own admission, harvesting this information to look for vulnerable LGBTQIP plus people to harass and bully into suicide. Unreal. Unbelievable. Gross misconduct. Gross negligence, chat. Crazy. She has claimed that she is no longer the person she used to be. Well, I mean, when you cut off your cock and balls and start taking estrogen, it happens. But the methods she used against me, gaslighting, projection, deflection, and the mobilization of community community bias, mirror the same abuse she once acknowledged and condemned. The behavior has escalated. Oh no. The behavior has escalated. Are you now in hiding? Is disturbing levels. Soon after her admission in the conversations above, Luna referenced the death of a close friend of mine. Uh-oh. Who's that about? I don't know anything about this. Who died by suicide after enduring a wave of online harassment. She acknowledged that his friend's death was caused by the same kind of communities and behaviors she once participated in, and expressed remorse for her past actions. Yet, years later, in an email she sent in 2024, she implied that I might share blame for that tragedy. Oh, no, Hector Martin Rose. Ay, Dios mío. Is it you who drove Bu to suicide, Hector Martin? Is that why you're so ridden with guilt and shame? Was it you all along? According to Luna the Fox Girl at foxgirls.gay, that might just be the case, chat. Unreal. I'm learning so much more about these accusations leveled against Hector Martin because he decided to post this fucking diatribe, chat. Despite the fact that I did everything in my power at the time to help protect them. No. In the email where I asked Luna for space, in the second last paragraph, the conduct from Luna that I was referencing was this implication, which she had made in a prior email. That accusation is not just false, it is emotionally abusive. It mimics the very tactics used by hate forums like Kiwi Farms, who have spread similar falsehoods about me in their efforts to discredit and torment vulnerable creators. By echoing their language, Luna has positioned herself not as a survivor of harm, but as a conduit for its continuation. None of this is theoretical. It is lived, documented experience, and it follows a clear and devastating pattern. Is there another one? That's the last mention. So much all this shit. Let's read the last word. I'm enjoying this. I don't know. Hector Martin is like permanently on my shit list, so shit like that's very funny to me. Final word on Luna. I just want to live the rest of my life in peace, and for Luna to leave Cyan and I alone. That is all I asked for. That's all I've been asking for Luna the past 12 plus months. Yet it seems we live rent-free in her head, and she is unable to let go. Rent-free? That's like a Nazi dog whistle. I'm pretty sure like rent-free is like a right-wing meme, bro. Luna knows where Cyan and I used to live in Japan, and we had to take moves to make sure she can't find us and dox our address. How can you be afraid for your life in fucking Japan? You're in Tokyo, a city of like 50 million people? Like, if someone doxes your fucking address, what are they gonna do? They don't have guns there. You're like in the safest country in the entire fucking world. That's crazy. Another apartment move was the last thing we needed after all the ongoing stress and anxiety this year, but it was the only way we could feel safe at our home, especially if Luna ends up moving to Japan, as she has expressed she wanted to do for so long. Dude, This is how we win, chat. We're taking all the trannies and we're sending them to Japan. They said they needed white people, right? Well, guess what? We have like 1 million of them. We're just gonna send you 1 million workers. They work for cheap too, bro. You just got to give them some Adderall and some HRT, and they'll work for fucking. They'll work just for the ambiance, just so they can speak Japanese with Japanese people and feel like they have accomplished something in their life. Sign and I have retained a Danish defamation lawyer. What the fuck? I guess Luna the Fox Girl is a Dane? Dane Bros? Is Luna the Fox Girl VT actually Bakoan 1? Did Bakoan 1 put on the Sailor Moon and went Panza Fo, and now he's Luna the Fox Girl VT? You know, it's been so long since I've shown that on stream. Hold up. Bakoan 1 dress. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is it. Oh, this is only well, this is like a reaction channel, whatever. If you don't know, Bakoan 1 is a fellow map player. He makes really slop videos on YouTube about like different map games and shit. He plays with a bunch of people. And sometimes they're like safe, edgy. There was one guy that was like too edgy. He said something about Germany because you play as the fucking Dritte Reich in Hearts of Iron 4. It's the main character of the fucking game, basically. But if you make a heckin' Holocaust, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Like they use like talk in character, so it sounds like when you go down like support the Führer path in Germany, like Bill Cohen will say like, yeah, I'm supporting Hitler, and it's just like. It's their way of being like safe, edgy. But Dressel said something that was like really bad or something. Anyways, this is him. He is doing like a charity event. As you can see, he raised $20,000 for charity. And the $20,000 thing is that he would put on a dress and do this.
Dude, look at. I thought he has great legs. He must be working out.
So that happened. Oh, you can even see his box. Oh no! Oh no! The pantsuit chat. You can see his boxers. Oh man. Anyways, he's Danish, so I just want to let you know if you're in Denmark, this is your countryman. Now, there is a non-zero probability that after doing this, he became Luna the Fox Girl. I have no evidence to confirm or deny this accusation. This is a 764 video. Anyways, one day I'm going to sneak onto this guy's live stream. I'm going to terrorize him. This has all been so... Okay, wait, hold up. If Luna does not stop her public and private attacks and publicly apologize for her abuse and harassment campaign... By the way, the reason why he did this is that he's a huge weeb, and there's an anime called... I think it's Panza und Girl or something. And it's like, from my understanding, it's like a World War II anime, but instead of being like about the war... like a documentary or whatever the fuck, it's like all the different countries are little anime girls. So there's like a Germany chan and like a Japan chan and a Russia chan, and they did like a thing where they like raised their arms and said Panzer Fo, and every time he gets a super chat, it fucking plays that fucking sound. I despise it. However, he stopped including those. It used to be like all his clips would have the sound, but I told him that I leave nasty comments in his videos because I like his videos, but there's always something about it that annoys the fuck out of me. And I kept leaving him a comment like, bro, when you record on OBS, there's a way to make that sound channel not picked up by the recording. So you can stream and you can put that notification on sound channel 3 and not record 3 to the MP4 that you use for clipping. And I kept yelling at him. I kept saying, why are you not fucking doing this? I'm so tired of hearing Panzer Fo. And eventually he did actually start doing that, I think, because I no longer hear the notification. So, anyways, yes. This this is what happens. This is what happens if I like you, chat. If I like you, I torment you in your comments. I pull up clips of you in a dress. I call you a tranny. I call you a tranny Fox Girl VTuber, and then I conspire to sneak onto your stream so that I can harass you in person. This is this is what happens if I actually like you. Okay. He's not a cow. He doesn't have a thread. Calm down. This is apologize. We'll pursue all available legal remedies to keep ourselves safe going forward. This has all been so emotionally painful that I can no longer bring myself to use Luna's software. Oh no, bros! He had to buy the Live 2D license. Oh no! It's been so traumatic. He had to stop using false software, and he had to buy a license for a proprietary VTubing suite. Oh no! Oh, traumatic. It's like getting raped. Meanwhile, the virgin Hector Martin. Ideals me, I can no longer support Luna the Fox Girl. I'm gonna buy a proprietary license and not use her code. And then, meanwhile, the Chad Josh. It appears that this programming language is 100% either feds or trannies or some combination of federal tranny agent. I will use this to write my forum software in because fuck them. That's how you roll, chat. That's how you roll. If you use and support Inochi2D, please be aware that you are supporting Luna's harassment, doxing, misgendering, manipulation, and abuse. If you believe these acts don't belong in the VTuber and false communities, please consider using and supporting other software. Which he doesn't name because there's probably no other false Live 2D alternative that you don't have to pay a license for. And then he says, contact me for this other shit. If you have other stories and you want to dogpile on this person, let me know. So Luna the Fox Girl has responded, chat. Let's take a second. Pause the stream. We have breaking responses from Luna the Fox Girl at foxgirls.gay saying, currently it seems I'll never have peace. I'm just really tired. I want this to be over. She'll follow me to the end of the earth to make my life miserable again and again whenever I finally make any progress on myself. What's the fucking point? This will only be over when I'm gone. So baiting in the response. If I try to defend myself, shit gets. Oh look, Danish flag, the Cohen. I'm on to you. I know the truth. When I ignore her, shit gets worse. When she herself starts shit, she blames me and makes shit get worse. There's literally nothing I can do that will make this nightmare just end. I'm not allowed to be in pain, and I'm not allowed. Look at this, 5 likes each. Luna the Fox Girl baiting to 5 people, chat. Anything I do or say will be used against me to make it look like I'm conspiring against her in one way or another. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't know anymore. It's an endless cycle of one hurting the other over and over and over again. Despite my best effort, she's entirely disinterested in actually moving forward and find a way where we can just walk our separate ways and stop hurting each other. It's just so exhausting. How much more do I have to deal with this before she's satisfied? I really don't know. I just hope it'll be over soon. I just want to be left alone too. I don't know what I'm supposed to retain my will to live, constantly hanging over my head. The Hector Martin sword of Damocles. Listen here, Fox Girl. I did it to Bew, and I'll do it to you. It's so hard. It's so hard to eat and sleep and just live your life when you know that the Hector Martin sword of Damocles dangles precariously over you at every waking moment. Trust me, I'm really trying to, but so often it's just tempting to give her what she wants and get peace. I'm not equipped to deal with constantly having to fight or fight mode at all times. It's really messing me up. I don't feel safe. I haven't felt safe in over a year. Bro, you live in fucking Denmark and Japan are not dangerous countries. There is no tranny rolling up to your apartment in Tokyo about to fucking shank you. There's no tranny in Denmark about to roll up to you in your fucking apartment and shank you. You can Copenhagen and Sievenhagen and Maldenhagen all you fucking want, and nobody's gonna come after you ever, alright? Those people are so dramatic. Just get the fuck over it. You can save yourself a lot of stress by just not fucking caring. Oh yeah, kitty style too, dude. What? Danish people are fucking weird, bro. Proper fucking weird, chat. Next. Okay. We have more news on the government did something front. The FBI has opened 250 investigations tied to 764. which of course is the pedophile sextortion cult, which certain people. Oh, look, Cash Patelli can post about this. I'd encourage everyone to read this story on the Violent 764 network and how the FBI is working with local law enforcement to fight back. It is deeply disturbing but critically important to understand what's out there and to be aware of the threats that American kids and families are facing every day. The criminals in these networks use online platforms to target vulnerable kids, coerce victims, and recruit others, often resulting in horrible cases of abuse. It is absolutely tragic, and I want people to know that we're cracking down hard. Remember last week we announced our agents and partners arrested 2 alleged leaders within 764. We've opened hundreds of cases around the country and our field agents are fully engaged. This is a priority for myself, the FBI, Dan Borgino, and our leadership team. Those who come after America's children will face justice. We will be relentless in pursuing them. We hope to have more updates very soon. Well, hopefully that will also include the Sikh pedophile sex trafficking white girls, but that remains to be seen. Cash sounds normal. I don't give a fuck what he sounds like. I'm catching his vibes, okay? And that's what he sounds like to me when I hear him talk. So good for them. You know, good for the government. I'm happy if the FBI is rounding up pedophiles and extortionists and DDoS attackers and shit like that. You know what? That's what a government's for, chat. That's actually what it's for. Okay, so God, hold up. Let me be absolutely 100% fucking clear about this. I have no idea when I am talking about when I play these clips. This is my understanding of this, okay? This is my understanding about this broad strokes. There is a guy on YouTube called Synthetic Man. And it is my understanding that Synthetic Man is a wholesome heckin' chutterino that a lot of people like. However, he seems to have done something to upset his community. This thread, which is the Synthetic Man Appreciation thread in multimedia, so it's not a locale thread, has seen dozens of people join in the last week or two to talk about him. And even though I'm like manually approving all their posts because they're new users and we have a filter, I have no fucking idea what's going on. Here is my understanding. Synth is like an anti-porn person. He's like trad, chudley, and that's why he has a fan base. He recently interviewed Sven Stoffels, and the topic of the Kiwi Farms came up, from what someone has told me. I have not seen it myself. And someone actually asked me to get in touch with him to do an interview, which right now, because of his situation, I'm not leaning towards doing. So here's what I get is that he has an audience that is like pro anime, pro free speech, and I think that he's anti anime himself. And I'll read the chat because I actually don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm going off of notes, and for some reason, he recently did like a turn on the anime question, and this has upset a great number of his own viewers. Okay, he's not anti-porn. Okay, I got that wrong. Oh, hold up. Where are my fucking notes for this? Okay, so he is not a self-proclaimed lolicon, but his audience is lolicons. He made the argument that art shouldn't be illegal, and so he's made a pro-porn or pro-free speech porn defense, which includes lolicon as a general libertarian thing. He also made a video, and I think this is the actual point of contention. He made a video talking about how people who are anti-lolicon are in fact the real pedophiles because they're so obsessed and they're seeing little kids in cartoons, and that's indicative of mental illness, which is a very like that's like the typical lolicon thing. He is anti-porn, but okay, so he's anti-porn personally, but he's like a lolbert. Okay, I got you. Let's see what this is. Okay, well, someone posted this in the stream in 4chan.
Maybe you shouldn't call kids the English word for candy, lollies. If you don't want the art of kids' forms in lewdness to be rightfully mocked as well as you for the pedophiles that you are. Listen, I've already given my take on this. It's pretty neutral because I think it is, as much as I hate to side with leftists on certain shit, the saying, a drawing of what
Wait,
is... Yes.
Stop. Let's upgrade our shit right now.
This dude, what a hero. He's like, wait a second, this guy I'm streaming with is a fucking retard. Bro, gear check? Can we get a gear check? We have to check our gear real quick, bro. Come on. Settle down real quick. We gotta check the gear, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, continue on. Just
There is a grain
Never mind. Keep making your mistake. Keep making that mistake, sir.
truth to this, but I feel like the argument, the type of thing is, it's a complicated argument because on the one hand, it depends on if you're trying to argue from a perspective of should you make drawings illegal, which is an extremely huge slippery slope.
Kobe,
You'd have to
I'm
be
gonna stop you
retarded.
right there. I think you should stop talking about this.
No.
Never mind. He was in control the entire time.
That is important.
I think you should stop. I'm gonna be complete. I think you should stop.
You're a coward, Thomas.
I'm not
I'll
a coward. I'm
talk
trying
about
to
it.
save you. You don't need
There's
this
nothing
online
to save.
There are
What's his name?
I'm not
I'll
a coward. I think you
talk
should
about
stop. I'm gonna be complete. I think you should stop.
I know, because you're a coward, Thomas.
Davis? Davis? That's a weird name. Davis.
I'm not a
I'll talk
coward.
about
I'm trying to
anything.
save you. You don't need
There's
this
nothing
online.
to save.
There are certain things you don't need to talk
Thomas,
about online.
okay.
And fucking lolicon is something you probably just don't need to talk about online.
Well, let me just tell you, a shit ton of people have already. And unfortunately, it's related to my line of work. Just read the fucking chat.
One of us has been drinking a bottle of wine. The other one's completely sober. So let's think about that, okay? You should not talk about this.
I feel like this is gonna be something. This is a problem. Like, the chat is not one person, obviously, because I always see whenever the subject comes up, there's debates in chat. But it's one of those things where the people who are the most vehemently against Lolly are always actual pedophiles, which should tell you something.
10 years ago, thousands of years ago, during the Great Gamergate War, there was a Kotaku editor named Mr. Pizza who made a tweet about how lolicon is pedophilia and then was arrested for having child pornography. Thousands of years later, in current day, lolicons will constantly fucking bring this up to say people who are anti-lolicon are the real pedophiles because just look at Mr. Pizza. I have made this point again, or before, and I'll make it again. If an actual pedophile is looking at the shit you jerk off to and say, that's pedophilia, I will take his expert opinion on it. If he is somebody who actively collects and masturbates and produces child pornography, and then he looks at your drawings and says, yeah, that's pedophilia, I have a feeling he has a point. I don't know why this is brought up as a point against people, because I don't think it says what you think it does. He's also played lolicon games on stream. I don't know if that's true. Apparently one of his mods is an open lolicon, and he doesn't ban lolicons from his community, which is why he gets brigaded by people who are anti-lolicon. That's why the thread's so shit. And then here's the issue, okay? Is that because he's very chudly, and because he is pro-libertarian lolicon, right? His audience is very anti-whammon. So I think, from my understanding, is that he has a very anti-anime stance in general. But then for some reason, he did a stream with Kersha, who is a I guess I would say a medium-sized VTuber. She's not like corporate, but she's not small either. She gets like 1,000 to 2,000 viewers, from my understanding. And she's kind of like Chud aligned. She's probably one of the most aware people in regards to the forum. And so he had her on to talk, and then his audience got really pissed off at him because he had a woman on stream and he had a VTuber on stream. So it was like, his audience that didn't like anime was upset at this, and his audience that doesn't like women is upset at this because she's actually like 30, I think. I want to say she's like a 30-year-old woman, so it's like that's a hag. That's not a heckin' based lolly. So people got upset at that. And then there is a clip that I can play for this. So let's see. April 3rd and May 8th.
Higher than food. Not shocking. Actually, this is part of why Kiwi Farms is mad at me, too. Do you know Kiwi Farms unironically wants me to ban all of the lolicons in my audience? It's like, are you guys fucking retarded?
I do it. It's called the third rail. Like, I'm not like the thought police. I can't control what you do or what you're into. But if you come out and you just flat out say that you're like jerking off to lolicon, like I just have to ban you. That's the third rail, bro.
Do you know how much money that those people probably given me? Like, I'm gonna ban potentially a third of my live stream audience.
That's not an argument.
That sounds like the dumbest motherfucking thing I've ever heard.
That's a bad argument. Jeffrey Epstein could have made that argument. Like, I'm just supposed to you give out. I'm just supposed to ban a third of my 2/3 of my supporters. Are you kidding me? I can't do that.
But no, the guy who doesn't even have a Discord. I'm gonna definitely get into trouble because of you guys doing things independently. That has nothing to do with me. If hypothetically, one person in my audience is a real pedophile and molests a kid, what does that have to do with me? Absolutely nothing.
Wow, bro, come the fuck on.
God, this fucking retard logic again. I can't stand it. The sanctimonious pricks. They annoy me.
Wait,
they fucking annoy me.
Wait. So he's aware that in the lolicon department of his audience, there are actual pedophiles getting arrested, and he's still not going to put the kibosh on that. He's not going to say, shut the fuck up. That's a bad idea. I don't know.
Stream has 42 dislikes. What? 42? No. 42? That's a lot. Oh my god. 42? My career's over. Dude, if all 1,000 people who are watching the stream at a time unsubscribed, I would still be at 150k. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, why have I attracted so many narcissists? So many of you guys have, like, main character syndrome. If you disappeared tomorrow, it would change nothing.
That's a bad thing to say to your audience. If you tell your audience that you don't give a fuck if they stop watching, one of two things will happen. One of three things, I guess. Either A, they'll keep watching and not care, which will be like a third of them. Like, another third might actually stop watching, and then the final third will actually keep watching, but because they hate you. And then you'll be like a DSP, where your audience is just like hating on you forever. Yeah, that's a bad idea. Yeah. So someone in his audience said, or in my chat said, he doesn't focus on lolly unless it's brought up. But it's like, if he freaks out and has like a tard fit every single time it's brought up, and it becomes like something that is so incessant that people are now joining like a forum to shit talk him, he should probably not talk about it at the very least. He should do like literally everything in his power to not talk about it, but yeah, that's weird. If it is brought up and you don't disavow, you're done. I mean, I think you can get away with just the libertarian stance where you're just like, I don't like it and I'm suspicious of people who are, but I don't want to ban drawing, because I think that's my stance, is that it's like, I don't want those people around me. I don't want it on my site. I don't trust people who are into it, but I'm very hesitant to say anything that how I can't in my head, I can't imagine how you would regulate it without just having like a department that looks at lolicon and makes the determination on if it's underage or not. Like, I don't see how you could do that. And I don't want to deal with that government overreach, because we have lolicon artist lolcows on the thread. We have people like Shadman, and we document what Shadman does, and that's on the forum. And it's like, how do you pass? Like when the government passes, like with the recent revenge pornography law, like how do I decide what's public good or not? Because if the government decides it's not public good, then I'm criminally liable for when I think that it is of public interest, and they disagree. Well, if it's the same thing with Lolicon, like if we're documenting Shadman, and I believe that it's of public interest, and they disagree, well, that's criminal liability. So I don't trust the government to regulate it at all. Kershaw loves Shadbase's art. Oof. Bad luck, bro. I feel like that's the best stance you can have. It's like I say, it's like if you jerk off to drawings of feet, you're a foot file. If you jerk off to drawings of men butt fucking each other, you're probably gay. If you jerk off to children or drawings of children, what does that mean? Oh, you just like petite women. Okay. You just like short stacks. Okay. Cope. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I don't know. Bad way to handle all this. I don't know anything about them, but I'm forced to pay attention to it because it's gained like hundreds of pages, and like this is. I kind of want to see what happens if I go to like page 300. This is in February. Page 400. It's April. So in the last month, it has gotten 250 pages. That's really fast. I don't know. He's obviously doing something where it's not working out well for him. All right. This is a bread tuber, brony tranny chaser, who has been accused of sexual misconduct, if you can even believe it. I became a fan of Saber Spark when I was in high school, and then I found his essay video titled Ballad of the Brony back in 2011. After graduating and turning 18, I added him on Skype to tell him I was a big fan of his. He added me back almost instantly, and we had a conversation ending with him giving me his phone number, which was a really big time to me at the time, since this was the first time interacting with any sort of celebrity. I had developed a parasocial crush on him due to being starstruck, which was something that he was aware of. We would talk on Skype and text each other semi-frequently leading up to the first time of meeting him. In 2012, I went to my first pony convention. This was the first time ever traveling by myself, and soon the two of us became friends. I met up with him in person. He invited me to his hotel room and showed me a video that he was editing on his laptop, causing me to internally geek out. I was really nervous being alone in a hotel room with someone I was a huge fan of and had a crush on, but I tried to play it cool. He was 4 or 5 years older than me, making me feel more nervous and out of place. He would bring up the prospects of us two dating and how it didn't feel right for us to do so. After that, he almost immediately initiated making out with me and guided me to his bed. In the moment he did not directly ask me for consent, I was thrown onto the bed and he would insert himself into me. Saber Spark was also significantly larger than me, as I was an 80-something pound 18-year-old girl, so I physically could not stop him. I felt extremely nervous and uncomfortable because I had never experienced any sort of sexual intimacy with someone I was not dating before, much less someone I just met. I was very new to meeting people online in general. At that moment, I laid there disassociating as it felt very wrong while trying to rationalize it in my head to convince myself it was safe and a normal encounter. He rushed off to clean and finish himself and came back to bed and offered me a handshake saying, "Friends." This would cause me for the rest of the event to feel that I had been taken advantage of. This is why you do not listen to boomers. If you sexually assault a woman, you do not tell her it was a friendly encounter, okay? Honestly, I think if he didn't do that, he might have gotten away with it. You know what I mean? It sounds like she was like, okay, I'm just going to cope about this until the handshake came out. And it was like, bro, fuck you. That's called, I think in the Zoomer parlance, that's called L-Riz, chat. I was ashamed of myself for not stopping the interaction, though I tried to pretend I was fine to everyone around me. I was still am demisexual, and being put in that position was not something I wanted. Oh, the kids are so fucked in the head, bro. She can't just say I wasn't in a relationship with him and it felt wrong. She has to say I'm demisexual, so it was rape because I want to be in a relationship with somebody first. That's It really is, dude. That's what gets them. It's what happens to all these fucking e-celebs. They hook up with a girl that is a fan of their show and wants to be in a relationship with them, and then they get shown the VIP treatment. They get taken to BronyCon, taken to the hotel room, shown their brony video, and it's like, if he was just willing to be in a relationship with her, then it probably would have led to sex in a day. But this guy thought he was hot shit. He was going to get to clop to all the little brony ladies out there, okay? And it was like, I can't just settle for the first 18-year-old girl that decides to message me on Skype. I got to keep my options open. And it's just like, he thought he was going to be fucking a playboy or something, and now he's accused of rape. That's what happens to all of them, by the way. It's like with Destiny, because they all do the same shit. They make the girl feel like that they're special and that they're going to be in a relationship, which is what they want, because they're women, and that's what women want. And then they like rug pull them. And this guy rug pulled her so fast that she like still had like ejaculate on her. And then he was just like, okay, we're friends, right? And it's just like, it's like insult to injury, and you're just like, I can't live this down. If I don't go on Twitter and post my white on black he raped me message, I will never live this down. It's part of my healing process. I maintained the friendship until a second occurrence happening at a completely different PonyCon. Oh my god, he did it twice. So she's still coping about it, willing to say, okay, maybe next time. We had a public space, but no one around to talk for a while. He kept bringing up the prospects of us starting a relationship, but how it felt wrong. He would grab my hand and say how it felt so right, only to push my hand away, saying, but so wrong. There's nothing wrong. You can date an 18-year-old, bro. He's only 4 or 5 years older than her. What's that, 20, 22, 23? 23 divided by 2 is 12.5, add 7. Bro. I don't understand. I had decided that my crush on him was something I needed to get over because I felt that my emotions were being toyed with. Then he suggested going to a more public space around others, and we went to an elevator to go to the lobby of the hotel room. As soon as the door closed, he forcefully shoved me against the wall and shoved his tongue down my throat. It scared me and hurt, triggering another attack of disassociation. Once again, he did not ask for consent when throwing me into the situation. Once the doors opened, people were present. He got off and took my hand and guided me towards the stairs to go back to where we were just into a men's restroom, where he pulled his pants down and guided my hand and head to perform oral sex on him. I was afraid of denying him because of past experience with sexual assault, so I just did it to get over with without wanting to cause a problem, where he would ejaculate on my face, apologize profusely, and then offered the same handshake as he did at the con I initially met him, saying friends. Despite pretending I was fine, I had slowly begun pulling away from Saber Spark. I cried that night while staying with a friend, but waited for the friend to fall asleep so no one could hear me. And I would cry for months, feeling ashamed of myself for putting myself in a compromising situation with someone I hardly knew. I'd always felt taken advantage of them. Okay. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. Like, she wanted to be his girlfriend, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna come on her face and then say that we're friends. Okay. Crazy. No sense of preservation whatsoever. I mean, she's an 80-pound girl. To quote Shondo, I'm just a little girl. What am I? If someone wanted to rape me, what am I going to do? And the immortal words of Shondo. Like, I mean, honestly, what is she supposed to do? Because let's say that, like, if she shows up at this hotel room to start a relationship, and then he forces herself on him, or himself on her, is she supposed to immediately go to the police? Not meet with him again? I don't know. She probably still wanted a relationship with her, because at that point, it's kind of like sunk cost fallacy. You know, like you have this humiliating experience, and in your head, you're kind of like, if we get into a relationship, then that kind of like post hoc makes it consensual and part of a relationship. But she didn't expect that he would just do it again. You know what I mean? How hard is it not to rape your fans? I don't understand. You guys are dumb. This is How honestly, it's not that hard to rape your fans. Here's like, if you don't have sex with people you don't want to have a relationship with, you never have these issues. You never have cocaine. Your kids never test positive for cocaine. You never get accused of rape. I've been internet man for 13 fucking years. You know how many times I've been accused of sexual misconduct? 0. You know why? I'm not a fucking retard. You want to know why? I don't have sex with random women. You know, I don't solicit 18-year-olds to come meet me at fucking Brony conventions so I can have sex with them. How was it rape? He pushed her onto a bed and had sex with her without her consent. They were not in a relationship. They had not discussed having sex prior. She did not verbally consent to having sex, and he fucked her. And then specifically said that they weren't in a relationship. Like, if you think that if you have a mentality where it's like you can do that, you're going to end up in jail for rape. I just want to let you know right now. Like, if none of that rings any alarm bells to you, that means that you are dumb and you are at a non-zero chance of ending up in jail for rape. Imagine asking for consent first. I think I've done it because it's obvious. You just say, "Do you want to have sex?" That's consent. You realize you can ask that, right? Do you want to have sex? Like, have you never done that before? I'm like, sorry, I don't want to pause the stream to interact with chat, but it's like, I find this fascinating. Josh write consent forms. I did not. You can just ask. Everyone in this chat is an autistic retard. That's what it seems, bro. It ruins the mood. It ruins the mood to say, do you want to have sex? Have you ever had sex? I don't want to pull that out, but it's like, if you think, do you want to have sex? As a question is like, or even, you can even do it the other way. You don't have to ask as a question. You can just say, I want to have sex. Right? And then if they say, I don't want to, as a response, then guess what? If they comply with that and do things that indicate non-verbally that they would like to have sex, then that is also consent. If you just push somebody down into a bed and fuck them, that leaves a very open question of if it's rape or not, bro. Oh my god, I have to save you people. You're all fucking dumb. I'm sorry, if you disagree with me, you're retarded. Fist bump consent. Yeah, you can even handshake it if you really want to. You can say, do you want to have sex? Let's shake on it. Firm handshake guides the way. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Chat's retarded. I honestly, it's like scary to me because it's like, if you think that it's okay to meet up with a fan that you've never met before and then randomly shove them onto a bed and fuck them, you are in a mindset that will lead you to jail. You do not have the mental capacity or the tools in your brain to navigate the treacherous seas of the universe as it stands. All right. I'll leave it there because otherwise you guys are crazy. All right. Next. Aniza and Ian and Ethan and Hassan, collectively and individually. First off, I think this is a clip of Ethan giving his takes on Idubbbz and his character. Let's see what that says.
Is wrong with you, dude?
Instead of taking any responsibility for sharing too much on his live stream.
Sharing too much? Do I need to be worried that I'm sharing too much? It's going to have people call CPS? Is that reasonable? You want to talk about sharing too much? Hold on.
The thing is that even if Sonny did have it, it's still not a reason to call CPS.
That's the thing. Here, I have a statement from a para, I don't know how to call it. Hold on. You want to talk about sharing too much? What the fuck is this, dude? I'm calling.
Well, I want to ask Rajor a question first.
Okay.
Rajor.
Wait, we should get Rajor in here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you can.
Well, if you can. I just want to ask him if you've always been shitting your pants.
No.
Because since I've known you, you've always had, like, IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
Yeah, well.
Well, I want to ask Radjor a question first.
Okay.
What is this?
You know, I think, dude, you got shit in your pants, bro. We gotta fucking. You better not ever have a kid.
Jewish.
Okay. You better be wearing a diaper, otherwise you're not fit to have a child. Poo pants, swastika boy. Am I wrong? Am I over analyzing this, or does it seem like extremely humiliating the way she's doing it? And he seems like super not into her sharing that.
Yeah, I see that for sure.
I mean, let's talk about
his face. I don't know what the fuck has happened to Ian, but it's like his face is like this perfect. Let me just show you. Hold up. Let me play this clip and then I'll show you my little character. I might have even done this before on stream, but I'm just play it and then I'll do my thing.
Sharing, you know what I mean? I think Anissa is the cuck. She's the cuck. She enjoys watching her husband get fucked.
And obviously,
she's the cuck. People have had this story all wrong.
Obviously.
Holy shit.
He is. So in one of his videos, he made like a content deputy, but he said, "Just call me a cuck. I know you want to." Like that was like a challenge. Like, prove you're not like a real leftist. You got to prove it. How about you just call me a cuck? Which I guess is like the ultimate way to like prove that you're not a leftist, is to use the cuck word. So, okay, there's this awesome website called Photopea at photopea.com. It is almost feature parity with Photoshop, and it's completely free. I use this for all my photo editing on Linux because you can't download Photoshop on Linux. But Ian's face is like this. It's like if you look at like any zoom in of him like that, it's like he just has like these perfectly straight brows that you can barely see any eye under. And then he's got like this nose that kind of just juts out from under it. And it's just like it just has like the most dour, pathetic fucking expression I've ever seen on the planet. It's just like he looks like in a constant state of fucking misery. You know what I mean? He doesn't even have like eyebrows. He has no eyebrows, and then he has like this perfectly flat look with like beady little eyes poking underneath, and then his like nose is like really big and sharp. It's just he honestly, you know what else he looks like? Like this. Oh my god, it's like Dead fucking Ringer, bro. He's got like the perfect Easter Island statue head with like the extremely sharp brow line, no eyes, the nose that's like long and juts out. And it's like he didn't always look like this. I don't understand. I don't understand how his face completely fucking changed. It looks so fucking miserable, man. Whew. Anyways, something I gotta do here real quick. Wait, hold up. How'd it go?
Yeah, well.
You know, I think, dude, you got shit in your pants, bro. We gotta fucking. You better not ever have a kid.
Jewish.
Okay. You better be wearing a diaper, otherwise you're not fit to have a child. Poo pants, swastika.
I know that's the poll. I don't edit that. Poo pants, swastika boy. There we go. I feel like that's a necessary addition to the title of the thread. Someone might be looking that up on Google. They might be like, "Is there like a thread on that poo pants swastika boy?" Then they'll find the forum. Okay. All right. Next. So Denims, who is the titty lady from Lebanon, that is one of the Hassan like fuck girls, I guess, is trying to sue Ethan Klein for defamation. So she launched a Gibson Go, asking for $150,000 to sue Ethan Klein, and she used this horrifically disgusting caricature of a Jewish man as the thumbnail, and says, "Ethan Klein lied about me supporting CPS coming to his home. If he doesn't retract, this GoFundMe is for legal fees to hold him responsible for his lies. If he retracts, this GoFundMe will be refunded." And then there's a legal notice image there, but why? Oh, this is where's the actual legal notice image? It's not archived. There's a fucking Imager link. For some reason, they did not archive that, so I can't actually read the legal notice, I guess. Oh wait, I don't think I can do this because I think Imgur blocks all fucking VPN links, and you can't even view fucking images. Hold up. Yeah, see, you can't even I hate Imgur. Everything associated with Reddit is fucking cancer, bro. Worst fucking thing ever made. So this fucker, I'm gonna downvote it. Didn't fucking archive it. Oh, I forgot to include something from my notes. So, I put in the work, and I actually watched the entire Ethan Klein and Hassan Piker debate. Now, obviously, I'm going to go line by line through this 5.5 hour long video, and we're going to get a complete and full reaction over the next few hours, okay, so I can give a full and complete response to this. Obviously, I'd never subject you to this, but I want to prove to you that I did actually watch this. I can sum up my entire thoughts by one line said by the Dan producer guy at the very end. You ready?
Both sides got the clips they wanted. That's the end.
That's
of that.
kind of the thing, right? Is like anything. Both sides declare victory, and nothing really changes. So what can you do?
What an Aryan king. Just sum that shit up. 5 hours of debate. Yeah, Hassan's probably going to clip this to look favorable to himself and declare victory, and you're going to do the exact same fucking thing, and nothing changes. This was an exercise of fucking futility. And it was really refreshing after 5 hours of hearing Turk Roach screaming and Jewish screaming to get to this point and just have Dan the man wrap that shit up real nice and tight. In case you're actually curious, about the content of the debate, I think that Hassan performed poorly because he just kept trying to push Ethan to like squirm, and Ethan would just had like immediate one-line responses to basically everything. And the one thing that Hassan kept doing the entire stream, and I mean the entire stream for 5 fucking hours, is he did a perfect one-to-one imitation of the Christian stress sigh. Anytime Ethan started like epically poning him in linguistic debate, epic Ben Shapiro style, Hassan would go, oh, just like the most desperate, wimpy fucking sigh of frustration ever. You kind of get the sense that when he's on his stream and he's talking to his fans that like nobody ever questions him ever. And when people actually start like talking back to him, he gets really frustrated really fast. Because I guess in his mind, he has these perfectly constructed narratives that are instant kill shots because they're so genius. And then he starts to apply them to Ethan, expecting like, okay, this is going to be what breaks him and put him on the back foot. And it's just like Ethan immediately either like accepts it or has like a shot to fire back, and then Hassan has like no follow-up. He just expects that his one-liners are going to epically own him, so he just like sighs in frustration every time. The only other thing really worth mentioning is that I find it bizarre how openly Ethan decries the IDF and Israel. Like, he says that Israel's government is committing genocide, and he says that the IDF is a terrorist organization. And I'm just like, bro, that's your people. That's your wife and her family. You know, why are you just calling them like terrorist genociders and shit for like a bunch of fucking Arabs that hate you and want you dead and your wife raped? I don't get it. Why take their side? I kind of find that detestable. I've said this many times, but if I was Israeli, I would be like the most fervent pro-Israeli like shill that's ever fucking lived, because like that is your country, and they're trying to make you a country that you're proud of and has that's self-sustaining, that can go to war against the entire Middle East and come out on top. And it's like, how can you not love that if you're Jewish? If you have family there, if you've lived there for 5 years, how do you just come out and say like Yeah, they're a terrorist organization. It's not like the U.S., where the U.S. just randomly invades various countries and then starts raping and murdering brown kids for various geopolitical reasons that have literally nothing to do with your own interests. Namely Israel, to be quite honest. I don't know. I find that very bitch-made shit. I find that very unlikable. It's not a quality, a good quality of him. Where is this? Oh, there we go. There we go. In case you don't know who Hill Klein is. Look, I'm just saying. If that was my wife, you can call me as simple as you want. I would say they fucking deserved it. You're not gonna catch me being like, oh no, my wife is a terrorist. I'm gonna be like, yep, she got all of them. You don't want them growing up to fucking rape and murder your music festivals, do you, Chad? I don't know. Poor showing, I think. Being unironic too. Honestly, if I was Jewish, I would fucking love the great state of Israel. This is an example of Hassan's debate strategy, by the way.
Like a dumbass.
I can't wait to. And now explain what he means by that. We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Iraqis are not Palestinian. You fucking moron. You racist piece of shit.
What?
Because Iraq and the pan-Arabic nationalist movements that arise out of
Zionist out of your mind.
Is not about Palestinians.
Okay, so what did the Jews in Iraq have to do with fucking Israel? You bigot.
Actually fucking
you are so out of your mind.
And then Iraqis.
Dude, you screaming and grandstanding doesn't mean you're right.
Iraqi government's racism during the pan-Arabic nationalist movements as a vindication for why, or a comparison as to why Israel had to do the Nakba.
Do you think
you fucking racist piece of shit?
Thanks, Hassan.
I honestly, I listened to the entire debate. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. I think the Nakba is either when they had war against all their allies or all their neighbors and won, or it was when they actually just started settling Israel and they started moving all the Palestinians out of their homes where they wanted to live. And it's just like the association between Iraq and Palestine is very obvious. They're allies. Iraq openly supports Palestine. If there's an armed conflict between Palestine and Israel, Iraq gets involved. That's why they're an enemy. It's like it's not. They're both Arabs too. It's not like Iraqi is a national identity. Nobody is Iraqi unless they're a citizen of Iraq. But it's not like they're just Arab. They're just Arabs, just like the Palestinians. They're the same fucking people. So I don't. It's just like I don't know. It's just trying to scream at them. It's just like I don't get it. Yeah, Iraq was directly involved in 1948. Is that the Nakba? Is that the one that was in 1948 when they first started settling Palestine and were kicking people out of their homes and stuff? Yeah, okay, great. I mean, like, look, you could say that the Nakba was bad, but Palestine and Iraq were allies. So I don't know how you can get upset that Israel treats them bad too. It's just so bizarre. It's like, this is American politics. You have two sand people arguing about their desert tribes, both from the comfort of their homes in one of the most luxurious cities in the entire country, with the highest cost of living, the highest standard of living, access to every service and quality of life and luxury that life could ever possibly give you, in the City of Angels in Los Angeles, with enough money, millions and millions of dollars, to buy literally anything they could ever want. And what do? They inflame the passions of the American people to take a side on a desert conflict between a race of Arabs that would rape and murder your entire fucking family if they could get the chance to, and a race of Jews that would enslave your entire fucking family. Because you are goyim, and their Talmud says that you are cattle to them, and it's just like that's our politics. We have to pick a side in this for some reason. Really, really quite tragic, chat. Okay. So Idubbbz also made a content deputy. If you don't know, content deputy is when he did a content cop before. If the creator he did a content cop on made responses to his content cop, he would then on his backup channel create a content deputy, which would respond to those responses. And usually that was on his side channel, but I guess he's hurting for views, so he put this one on his main channel. And It's very, very, very bad. There's nothing funny in it. There's nothing to show you. He basically just tries to respond to Ethan and gaslight him a little bit more and say that he's being a bad person. And it's just like, it's so fucking sad and pathetic. And it's just like, there's honestly, from the entire thing, there's literally nothing to show you for it. There's one thing I didn't clip because I just couldn't be asked. I'm aware. I saw on PPP's stream. He had PPP. See, this is the luxury of time that you have when you don't run a forum and you get to just clip shit. He went to Twitch and actually saw that Idubbbz made an appearance on Hassan's channel. So he clipped out all the moments of Idubbbz talking. And it is so fucking pathetic. The highlight of this, and I'm not kidding, Idubbbz is just sitting there in the cock chair watching Hassan stream and not interacting or being funny or entertaining or having any kind of social relationship with Hassan at all. At some point, Hassan gets annoyed with him just hovering over him and tells him to like stop breathing on him. So Idubbbz backs away. And then I swear to fucking God, he's petting the dog for the entire stream. Can I... Let's see if I can actually just show this. I don't know if this is like clipped or something. But the highlight is Hassan tells him to go get water. And he does. Idubbbz gets up and fetches water. He's like the water boy. Oh, I can't even show this because there's no... He disables clips so you can't catch him out when he says like horrific retarded shit. How did PPP even clip this? Is this like on his channel? No, because that's like his 9-hour long response video to the content nuke. Holy fucking shit. 9 hours. 9 fucking hours. Yeah, I don't know where the fuck this is going to be at. But Idubbbz is literally just sitting there petting the dog, and like the dog is like climbed up on top of him and is like in his face, like you know how like when a dog jumps on you and he's like, it's really annoying. Ian is just like loving this. He's loving the attention from the fucking dog to the point where Hassan even has to tell him like, you know, you can just push the dog off, right? You don't have to actually let the dog mount you and fuck you like a bitch. You can actually just push the dog off. So. I don't know. I don't have the fucking aptitude to watch Hassan to clip it. So if someone posted that in this thread, maybe they did. Let's see. What? There needs to be a way to filter by attachments too. There's way too many fucking things about this. Yeah, I guess we're not going to get to see this. Sorry, chat. I tried to find it before, too, and I couldn't find it. Cool. So he's having a good time. There was a video that attempted to tally up exactly how much Carl Jobst owes to Billy Mitchell, who won his litigation and is awarded attorney's fees in Australia. And... it added up to 1.8 million Australian dollars. I think he said in comments, I will mention it in a future video anyways, but my total legal fees are almost 700,000. Notch paid around 300,000. And then I remember this too, in certain videos that he made, he said that Billy Mitchell had hired like the, most bottom of the barrel shitty mall attorney possible to pursue the litigation. And he speculated that was because Billy Mitchell was poor. And he said, I even remember this line, he's like, I just know that I hired a really good lawyer, so when I get my attorney's fees, it will be a lot of money, and I will pursue my damages against him. Meanwhile, his attorney is very bad and must not have cost a lot of money, so if I lose, it won't be that big of a deal. As it turns out, Billy Mitchell actually hired a real professional that charges more money than his lawyer did. So the attorney's fees he owes is actually more than his own attorney's fees that he has to pay for himself. Yeah, Notch gave Jobs like $300,000 because he believed that it was about the Donkey Kong scores. So I don't know. Notch might ask for that money back at some point. Just says that Billy Mitchell spent more. He's going to declare bankruptcy, apparently. Let's see what this is. Oh, on his Discord, he posted a screen from the office saying, I declare bankruptcy. And then he says, bankruptcy is nature's do-over. However, from my understanding, this is true in the U.S., but it may not be true in Australia, but I think it is. If you declare bankruptcy, that usually does not, in the U.S., bankrupt you out of court fees. If you're awarded to pay fees by a judgment, that generally cannot be discharged through a bankruptcy. So I don't know what he's hoping for there, but that does not look like it will go well for him. And it's hard to feel bad for him because this is what he had to say before he lost, just in March, or almost in April, right before the trial even. He says he goes bankrupt and loses all his assets, etc., and I chase him forever. Then he admits at some point today, lose isn't the cow, I'm the cow. And that's the bankruptcy thing. So if you are ever in a position where you might have power over somebody, but it's like a conflict where you could also lose, you generally never want to make statements like this. Because it's like, from Billy Mitchell's perspective, why would he ever show clemency on this guy? Because it's clear that, you know, if he had won, he would be trying to go after his business. He'd be trying to go after his family, try to go after his home, try to go after everything that he's ever built his entire life for. And now it's like, with this money and this debt, you can keep him busy for forever, basically. And while he's busy trying to deal with with his bankruptcy proceedings and your debt collections, he can't sue you. He can't make any more defamatory statements. So he's basically on the ropes as long as you don't discharge the debt in any way. So it's completely in Billy Mitchell's interest to pursue this as hard as possible. So it's like, it's an unbelievable legal strategy. Like, even with Greer, if Greer was willing to settle, I wouldn't go after him, you know, and try to like bankrupt him or anything. You know what I mean? It's like, I just want him to fuck off. I just want him to like to learn that he can't stop people from criticizing his shitty ass fucking music. So yeah, it's a really terrible legal strategy to announce that you're going to be as vindictive as possible, because not only does it make you unsympathetic to the victorious party, if that happens to not be you, it makes you very unsympathetic to the court, which is why the court very explicitly said that Carl's behavior contributed to the decision that there was actual malice and aggravated damages, because he kept saying repeatedly that he was going to destroy Billy Mitchell and that the litigation was merely a means to the end of destroying Billy Mitchell. So the judge saw that as evidence that the original actions of the immediate case were brought upon by malicious intent. So really terrible idea. And that's all I have to say about that. A little bit of silliness, I think, to round this out a little bit. Kind of a heavy topic. So let's just get a nice little clip of Amberlynn Reed being a big fat cunt.
Your neighbor needs to put in a noise complaint. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you're annoying as shit, bro. Like, fuck off. Like, you are a Karen. You are one of the ones that people do not want to live near, be around. Like, lame, boring, loser, bye. Like, oh, I laughed too loud. I laughed too hard. Oh, no. Fuck off. Why are you so mean to your neighbors? I'm mean to those who are mean to me. Like, have you not caught on?
Sounds like Wings of Redemption doing his dog whine. Awesome. Glad to see that Amberlynn is not dead yet. Next. Stalker Child. Sorry, that will make sense in a second. Stalker Child, Patrick S. Tomlinson, has tried to relocate to Blue Sky, which of course is the anti-fascist Twitter. Unfortunately for him, he is a white male. So let's see what the Blue Skyans have to say about this and their skeets. Rose Hacks says, this is one racist. He uses the N-word on black woman's website. And this is racist exposed. Meet Patrick S. Tomlinson. Saying, Patrick S. Tomlinson is an author and a vile racist. One of my sisters on Blue Sky contacted me, sharing the review this garbage human left on her website. Patrick, if you were confident in your ability, you would not be going out of your way to target a black woman, capital B. You sell books because, for white folks, they're on their standards. You can be as mediocre as they come and still reach success. That is because you are uplifted by white supremacy. You would be no one without it, Patrick. So, Patrick S. Tomlinson apparently left a negative review on a big B black woman's book. And that's all it takes. Sorry, bitch, you're a fucking racist now. Patrick S. Tomlinson skeets in reply, yeah, I didn't write that. Miss Jones's contact form has been targeted by a clinically obsessed criminal cyberstalker impersonating me. They have been abusing minority creatives in this way for years, trying to damage my professional reputation, which you are now actively helping them do, by the way. Rose says, pin it on your page then so people can always be aware. I've never heard of this happening. Patrick says, that's what you want my pin post to be forever? Rose says, let me get this straight. You are accused of being a racist. You provide an explanation in quotes, but don't want to explain pin because why? It doesn't matter to you? I would think that you would have more respect for the woman of color who thought the real you posted a slur on her website. Patrick says, that's because it's not the first thing I want everyone who comes to my profile to see forever, would you? Rose says, if this has been happening to me for years, as you claim, yes, I would have some sort of statement penned. I mean, she has a point. Jane says, if I was accused falsely, yes. Rose says, yeah, right? His attitude is telling. Phoenix Woman, Minnesota says, your refusal to admit what you're doing the Kiwi Farmers bigot wants you to do is telling. And then there's a Daily Beast. What did I do? How did I get dragged into this? No, I didn't leave her a fucking book review. Why am I in trouble now? Come on now. So apparently this is a video about him as well. This is a TikTok on her making fun of him. Let's see what this is. Wow, what a proud black woman. This looks like, I don't know. This looks like you took like an Italian and you tried to dress her up like a predator, like from Predator v Alien. You know what I mean? She's like the most bleached fucking blackie ever.
That's that thick. That's that real shit. That's that jelly, baby. Champagne and cherry, baby. That's that thick. That's that ball drop. That's that keep going. That's that dollar style. That's that bounce on that shit.
Is that a watermelon flag? Chat, why does she have a watermelon flag? Why is there a United States of watermelon flag, chat? What is that?
Bounce on that shit, bounce on that shit, bounce on that shit, no hand, bounce on that shit.
So I guess that's the book author? I guess a very experienced Patrick Tomlinson troll tried to find a retarded mulatto 1/8 black woman who writes books and dances and twerks in front of a watermelon flag to impersonate Tomlinson on, and that's how they react. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Patrick. Meanwhile, in the Ralphosphere, Ralph had a date to see his son in California, and when that happens, what he usually does is fly to Tijuana. He does a little bit of whoring in Tijuana, and then drives himself up to California to see Xanda in Sacramento. This time is no different, except I think that he's been gone for a couple days again, and the suspicion of people in the Ralph thread is that the timing of when he left and when he actually arrived to see his son was just long enough that it makes sense for a bus ride and not a plane ride. So Ralph might be so poor that he is taking Mexican public transit to Tijuana from Merida on the southeastern side of the country because he can no longer afford plane tickets, and then driving up to Sacramento to avoid paying more. So he might actually be as close to bankrupt as he could possibly ever get. It's actually kind of impressive. And then, by the way, he posted this picture to show that he's living it up in the good life. This is him at a jacuzzi saying, jacuzzi time once it gets filled. So he's not even whoring up. He's just in a hotel that happens to have a jacuzzi. And, What is that, chat? Could that be that is lubricated condoms and a rectal lubricant, chat? Now, why would Ethan Ralph in a jacuzzi have condoms and lube next to him in the jacuzzi, chat? Is there some sort of anal fixation happening in the Ralph jacuzzi? I mean, he needs to unwind a little bit after that long, long bus ride, I guess. Pretty gross, Ralph. Next, Rekieta. So, Rekieta's back on stream. And, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit out of order here. No, I'm not, because apparently I did not load this up yet. Where is that? Okay, there we go. So this is his view count. When he made his triumphant debut on YouTube, he got almost 6,000 viewers, and at peak, and it's kind of dwindled. He's now under. It goes down every time he streams, and now it's about 1,600, and it keeps going down. He's covering the Karen Reed trial, which I know nothing about. I haven't watched it, and I don't really care. However, he is 1 week into his old grind, and I guess he just assumed that he would just pick up the Pope hat again, and he would be live streaming and making enough money to actually support himself as per before. All he had to do was just get back onto it sober. However, the super chats say a different story. He's streaming for multiple hours, and he's getting fewer than 20 super chats of less than $100 per stream, which is really bad. Like, that's not even enough to justify the time. And it's in part because he seems to be extremely bored throughout the entire trial. So he's pulling numbers, but it seems to be people that are just hate watching him and are not supporting him, probably because his child tested positive for cocaine. So this is one clip. He is still sharing too much information. This is him talking about his Adderall prescription. I'll play about a minute or two of this.
Was your narcolepsy medication a gateway drug for coke? No. And are you still allowed the prescription coke? You mean the narcolepsy med? Yeah. Modafinil, I have that. I also have Adderall. Just a tiny dose, though. It's funny. A retard suggested that I would be like abusing my Adderall dosing. I get 10 milligrams of Adderall, and I get 30 a month. And I don't know if you know this, but you don't get to refill Adderall, like more than your prescription. They don't do that. You don't get to like do early refills or anything. So there's 300 milligrams of Adderall total for 30 days. Abusing it, it's not very much from what I hear. I think people do like 70 milligrams at a time or something like that to really kick it up. 50, I'm not sure. But no, I specifically like I don't use the Adderall for I use it for very small bursts of like whatchamacallit. First of all, Adderall, I've never had Adderall do anything more than just mildly keep me awake. But that's because I only use it for spot fatigue for my narcolepsy. When I get stressed out a lot is usually when it happens, but when I get stressed out, my narcolepsy kicks in a little harder. And so it's nice to have something just that isn't an all day thing. Like my modafinil is like, that's all day. That's 12 hours or whatever. But, just a 10 milligram boost of Adderall helps get through those things. So yes, I'm still allowed to have anything I'm prescribed. And, I have that. I don't know. It is not the same by any stretch of the imagination. Believe me. But that's fine. Like, you know, Coke is very intense, in its own way. It's a lot.
This is part of the reason why I think his viewers is like not sticking around, is that even though he's not like a cuckold, like actively being cuckolded anymore, or actively drunk. He still just talks nonstop about drug experience. Like, he has nothing interesting to say about anything else besides his fucked up lifestyle. And that's the two things that he's doing. One of them is that he's doing illegal speed that he's prescribed apparently for narcolepsy. And that will show positive in his drug test, but it will not get him in trouble because he has a prescription for it. So they're expecting that to show up in the test. The other thing that he's doing is speculation, and it's a little bit more insidious. So this has been going on. The few brave people willing to actually sit through his live streams have taken the enormous labor of clipping the shit out of his boring ass fucking trial coverage. And let's watch it together, Jim.
May 3rd transcript.
I'm back. Yo, YouTube's doing the weird thing where its view count starts skyrocketing even though they're not here. Hi to the not real people.
Refresh your recollection, take a look at your transcript.
Sure.
I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to run an ad when this thing peaks out. Sorry, I don't know if it's real. If they're going to give me a shitload of live viewers, I'm going to take advantage of it, damn it.
Okay, thank you, Brennan.
So apparently his stream would flicker, his webcam would conveniently flicker on and off for about a minute apiece.
I'm aware of that now.
You're aware that Kevin Albert is Caitlin Albert's uncle.
I guess so.
How many conversations did you have with anybody before you actually sat down?
If you're only listening, he's like zonked. He's sitting upright, and he's kind of like, imagine, like, if you've ever been really drunk and you're sitting upright, but the room is spinning. You know how you like wobble just like for no reason, just because you're losing balance. He's doing that.
Either in anticipation of setting up the interview or otherwise.
None. I think once I got the call, I just called my chief that they're asking me to come in. And that was that.
And you got the call from whom?
I don't know which state trooper called me.
He's still just really wobbly. Oh,
me either.
He's doing the thing again.
Very specific in your memory, it was a state trooper.
I only ever met with state troopers, and no one from the campus ever contacted
his
me
eyes.
about an interview, setting up an interview.
So when he was really high, watch. He looks all around the room and up at the ceiling again. The ceiling cat is back. So this is just something that he must do anytime that he's fucked up. He just starts gazing at the ceiling for no reason. It's really bizarre. It's like his tell.
Back to the ambulance and just reported it.
And importantly, it was important enough.
I think his mic is muted.
Go back and report the statement, but not important enough to write it down with that pen. It's very convenient.
Yeah, he's like yelling at somebody.
Correct?
It's not about.
He doesn't seem happy. He doesn't seem happy by that at all. Okay.
That was. Well,
I
I didn't know what
it's
those
what you
statements meant.
It doesn't matter. Maybe she hit him. There's no way in which I hit him is irrelevant to an EMT.
4 times as you claimed, right?
Yeah, I had that in my head, and I was going to go tell them that.
And you had a pen.
I was going to tell him, I just forgot.
Writing things, correct?
Yeah.
You never wrote that down, did you?
I wasn't going to write that statement down on the glove.
That woman has an annoying voice. She has like a vocal fry or something. Not that I'm one to talk, but she needs to like straighten her posture and speak more from the chest. Because she's like, oh no, I wouldn't have written that on the glove. Like, don't do that. People don't like to listen to that. That's why my podcast only has a couple thousand viewers instead of the million that I deserve.
Writing things down.
Nick has a UTI.
Well, I was still finishing writing down some of the other.
You got a UTI from all the sex I was having fucking my life over.
That were some of the things that were said.
Okay. And then.
So we have the jurors getting kicked out for.
I think these clips are after he disappears for a minute each time.
For lunch here. It's about time. We just finished up the testimony of I don't even know what her name was.
He can't even remember the name of the person in the stream that he just watched.
But look, It's clear that that lady had a relationship, and it goes to
just completely lost his train of thought because he's so fucked up and not paying any attention to anything. I'm kind of curious, actually. Give me a second. Let's see, gas.
We're gonna be seeing what galaxy.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the native habitat of the galaxy gas enjoyers on Google Shorts. Let's see if this is actually.
We're gonna be seeing what galaxy gas is. I was so confused as to what it was originally.
Fucking ass. Show me the thing. I don't care about what you have to say.
This is Lil T, and this little baby bottle that he's sucking on is called Galaxy Gas. What it really is nitrous oxide, flavored nitrous oxide to be exact. Lil T is just one of the many hooligans who has fallen for this Galaxy Gas scandal. In this video, I'm going to be quickly reviewing what Galaxy Gas...
I don't give a fuck. Just show me what it looks like. First time trying Galaxy Gas. It must be signed in. Hold up. I just need to hear it. Let's see the other browser. Okay.
First time trying Galaxy Gas.
Okay, that's what he sounds like normally. He's opening the box. It's a very nice box. It looks like that HRT Femboy box that they sell in Brazil. It's like shiny, like a Pokemon card. Okay. He's got the bottle.
Yo, this thing's fat.
Okay, it's fat, he says. It even comes like a little attachment that you can use to huff it. Alright, he's about to take a whip. A whip it. You better say something after doing this.
Just kidding. If you do this shit, you're a...
Fuck you! Oh my god, what a dumb piece of shit. Little Nar shows how to use...
young nigga, the only way to do that Galaxy Gas shit without fucking your brain up, first you gotta check the drip. You know what I'm saying? Get the tip, get that bitch beating like this here.
Is anyone actually going to do... I need to know what... I need to know what it sounds like. Is nobody going to fucking do this? No, okay. I can't believe I can't find a single video of someone actually fucking doing this shit. Okay, one more time. If this isn't it, then I give up.
Shoot, man, it's your boy 4K going. We back at it again. Like I said, we gotta keep this thing going, man. If we want to be where we want to be at, man, we gotta keep it going.
Okay, that's what he sounds like normally.
I'm feeling.
Okay, he's doing it. Okay, he just took it. Okay, he's like passing out.
Really here, no, I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, he does sound like that. What the fuck?
Yeah, we gotta keep this thing going, man. If we want to be where we want to be at, man, we gotta keep it going. Like I said.
One more time. Alright, say something. Oh yeah, he's doing a biggie. He's doing big you. He's like passed out in his chair. Speak. Oh, he's gone.
Yo, we're not gonna edit this video. We're gonna drop it how it is. Like,
dude, that does sound like Rekieta. He's like slurring and stammering, and he's like looking around. I can't show you the video, but he's got the octave drop and everything. That's crazy. That's totally what he's fucking doing. Here, one more time. Just listen to what he says when he comes back from the video.
May 3rd transcript.
I'm back. Your YouTube's doing the weird thing.
This nigga really doing fucking nitrous oxide whip bits on stream. I can't. Wow, that's crazy. That's funny. I mean, it's sad, but it's funny. So the reason why people immediately went to whippets, by the way, as their point of speculation, is that nitrous oxide does not show up in any test. All you're doing, literally, this is the entire high, in case you don't know. You are filling your lungs with nitrous oxide, and that nitrous oxide takes the place of oxygen, which you use to feed your brain. So when you inhale it, it doesn't cause discomfort, but it does deprive your brain of oxygen. And it's kind of like intentionally giving yourself like vertigo or something, and you just like you lose your breath, and then you're like oxygen deprived, and it gives you like a sensation of euphoria. So that's what they're doing. There's no actual chemical reaction that's taking place that is considered like an intoxication. So not only does it show up in tests, I asked Hardin, because Hardin used to be a elected prosecutor in Greene County. I'm like, if this guy was on parole or probation or whatever, and he was doing whippets, would that be a violation of like his don't get high rule? And Hardin said no, probably not, because there's the legal definition for like intoxication involves like an actual chemical reaction that alters your state of mind. And if you're just like not breathing, that doesn't really count. It would be really hard to prove that that's a drug. So he's completely allowed to do this. But there's a big trade-off. Sure, it's like a legal high. Sure, you can get around your probation. But the thing is, when you deprive your brain of oxygen, your brain cells die. That's what happened to Kanye West. He does whippets, and now he's like all fucking retarded and shit. And it's like you're literally trained. Your brain cells don't ever grow back, bro. They're gone forever. You're born with all the brain cells you're going to get. I think. Maybe they stop growing after 24 or something, but it's like if you damage your brain cells, they never ever come back. They're just gone. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's fucked up. Yeah, he was already fucking retarded. Okay. From my understanding, I didn't do a deep dive into this. I'm going to do that kind of live because I didn't have time. But this, from my understanding, is that Nick missed the parole meeting. And if you don't know, if you miss a probation hearing, that's considered that you failed. So you don't get to say, like, if you just no-show, like a mandatory screening, then you just get written off as you failed it. Like you intentionally didn't come in because you were high or something. So he might as well have been high on coke as far as missing this is set for. I'm not sure. Let me take a double look. I'm going to go through what I have, but that's what the discussion looked like. And what it seemed is that he blamed this on his wife waking him up at 4 a.m. by cooking ramen. So I don't know what the fuck is going on, but supposedly, I got some posts, so let's just watch.
I hereby find you guilty of being late and very unbreaded.
Yes, I apologize for being late. Really do. I finally got to sleep last night, and then I wake up. Lady Rackets is like, how about that ramen you were talking about earlier? It's like, woman, I'm supposed to be in bed asleep. I don't want to make ramen at 4 a.m., but I made ramen at 4 a.m. because it was delicious. Oh, my eyes.
What the fuck is he doing? Bump this fucker
I have
up.
morning body. I also have a nasty line of pain going down my throat, so that's cool.
Yeah,
How many days of this?
People love it when you start up a stream and you're just fucking groggy and complaining and you sound like you're half awake. People love that.
I left for this trial a lot. Opening this evidence. A few.
You've worked on this case with Michael Proctor, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, within your work on this case, you actually partnered with him for
What the fuck's wrong with his eye?
Did you not?
You'll have to be more specific.
Sure. So for instance.
Okay, let's actually look at the timeline for this. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong about the parole thing. Maybe he was just late to his stream. So on Tuesday at 11:50, Patrick Melton, the pedophile, starts streaming. 6 minutes later, Nick Rekieta said he wasn't doing the night show because he was hanging with the lady. That morning at 3:20 a.m., Rekieta is in Patrick Melton's chat still. It's the last time he super chats or chats in the chat. 17 minutes later, Patrick Melton actually ends his stream, presumably to go watch illegal pornography based off his prior statements. 14 minutes later, Rekieta replies again to a tweet on Twitter about the anniversary of his arrest, which was, so that's at 4 a.m. his time. He's tweeting about something that's happening in like 2 weeks from now. Oh man, is his anniversary of his arrest on a Friday? It's on a Friday. Oh, that gives me some ideas. Then on Wednesday at 4 a.m. exactly, he makes another chat. The next morning, Rekieta claims Rekieta woke him up, this time to make her ramen. So his wife woke him up at 4 a.m. He's only been sleeping for six minutes at this point, apparently. And Rekieta wakes him up and says, "You have to make me ramen." Now, from my understanding, she's a mother of like 5 kids and should definitely have the capacity in order to make ramen herself. I have seen DSP make cup ramen noodle. I don't think that she has any excuse for not being able to do that by herself. I don't get that. 14 minutes later, Rekieta was in the comment section of Stalin19 YouTube of Aaron Imholt to call him a bad interviewer based off a post. And then 4 hours later, Rekieta blames Kayla for his stream starting late. So, conclusion, Rekieta was lying again. So, he was just sitting up, jerking off the pedophile, and then watching other streamers until 4 a.m., even though he knew he had to stream that morning, and then was late and just lied until it was about fucking ramen. I guess he didn't miss a parole hearing. Okay, that's my bad. I saw a post about it, and I thought that might be, like, his excuse was that he missed the meeting because of her. My bad. Patrick Milton, the pedophile, also posted this, which is bizarre, and it is apparently Aaron Imholt's wedding band, or wedding ring, rather, which is a bit strange. It appears that Rekieta kept some memorabilia from Aaron, in particular his wedding ring, or he got it from, what's-her-face, the hoe, April, and is like, it's like a trophy of his now that he like ruined their marriage. Really just healthy, normal behavior that you would expect from a well-adjusted 40-plus-year-old father of 5 and married man. Fascinating. He is in Las Vegas now. This is from the Patrick Melton Discord, I'm pretty sure. So this is the Las Vegas airport, and he has already been cited. So interesting to see if he'll be able to avoid jail after visiting Las Vegas. He had asked for permission to travel out of state, so now he's in the city of Sin, trying to be completely clean, meeting up with people who are going to be drinking while he himself cannot drink at all. So there we go. Oh, and this is what really pissed me off. Like, apparently at some point, his daughter comes into the stream, and the Kiwi Farms users were nice enough to censor her face. What kind of tipped them off is that she's wearing a Buc-ee's t-shirt, like a rainbow tie-dye Buc-ee's t-shirt. And this is apparently across 2 different days. So his kids are wearing their clothes multiple days in a row. I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe it's just 2 days. Maybe it's not so bad, chat. But that's number 1. Number 2. I don't know if you remember this, but when the body cam footage thing just started happening, both Nick Rekieta and his attorney, or attorney friend, I forget who his name is it Barnes? Barnes said that the people trying to get access to the public records of body cam footage were pedophiles because it would feature his children in it. Then Rekieta starts streaming, and he puts his youngest daughter in front of the camera, and it's like, do you want this both? It's like, okay, so it's pedophilia to want a video that might have kids in it because of your own wrongdoing, but it's perfectly acceptable to just show her on stream on your own anyways. And it's like, what a fucking asshole. He goes out there and he legitimately calls people pedophiles, and then just because they're violating his child's privacy, and then he just does it himself anyways. So it's actually so fucking despicable. I really fucking hate him. What an absolute piece of shit. Him and his fucking faggot lawyer. Anyways, that's the Rekieta update. Up to no good as always. He's already fucking up, already high on shit. He thinks it's clever because it's like it's not going to show up on a drug test, but it's like they might look at these videos and then revoke your parole anyways because you're obviously doing something. You know what I mean? It's like you're obviously getting high on stream again. So I don't know. Couldn't be mean. And I think that's it. I do have Reddit. So, and then I have a very, very special outro song that I will play for everybody. So this is a special kind of Reddit segment. So there is a subreddit called RM to F. And RM to F, as you would expect, is a tranny subreddit for male to females. And they've recently published a rule that has pissed off many of their users. Because what their rule is asking for is that people who post porn accounts or post from porn accounts stop. So they're saying you should make a separate Reddit account for your RM to F posts than the Reddit account you use to interact with or post porn. And they say that this is number one is for personal safety. And number three and number four. It helps to prevent people from abusing our subreddit. You've seen folks using their profile to advertise their social media. They're the people that have never seen to participate in our faith except for when they're posting pictures of ourselves. So this number three is to stop trannies who are prostitutes from trying to sell their booty hole. But then number four, representation matters. How we present ourselves is important. Margaret Cho is an LGBT comedian. One of her most memorable bits is about the importance of representation and how she, as an Asian American woman, grew up expecting to play a hooker if she wanted to be an actress, because that's the only role she ever saw Asian American women on screen. Dr. Martin Luther King, who once wrote Nichelle Nichols a letter praising her for her role as Saint Uthra in Star Trek, or Lieutenant Uhura in Star Trek, how she was an inspiration for thousands of little girls across America. She had been about to quit Star Trek in favor of a role on stage in a more traditional theater, but King's letter convinced her to stay. Even today, over half a century later, Uhura is seen as a role model and an inspiration. When we allow chasers and fetishists into our space, we're telling them that that behavior is acceptable. We're teaching them that that's just how we should be treated. We're showing bigots and transphobes of the world that we're just a fetish, that we can be treated accordingly. We don't want that. So, pretty reasonable. We don't want people advertising their OnlyFans. We don't want to be seen as sex pest creeps. We don't want the poachers on social media showing that the accounts posting here are also sex pest creeps, because we all are and we all know it, right? So that's the rule. Seems kind of reasonable. Just be a little bit mindful about what you're posting, because you don't know how that might be interpreted by bigots on the internet. Let's see how the M to Fs respond to this. Are you going to do anything about the gawk posting? I mentioned it on the deleted thread earlier, but I don't even want to open this sub in public because all the posts are so overtly sexual in nature. Imagine you're a supportive parent of a trans kid looking for resources online and you Google Reddit M to F or something, and all you see is, I just want to have a girl-gasm for my girl dick when I put my girl panties in my girl skirt. I love being trans. Not going to lie, I'd probably become a repressor if I found out this place before I transitioned. This subreddit needs to do something with the sexual topics already. Imagine figuring out you are trans or a child of yours is trans, and the first thing you see is girl, horny, or gawk. Oh, I thought gawk was a typo, but it's girl cock. I got you. I've been on this thread for a while, and yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think it's interesting to see the cultural swing back from the TRA gawk posting era to more backlash against the sissy gooners. I wonder if part of this is because we're straight up losing the culture war and just trying to jettison the more obviously and viscerally problematic parts of our community to save face. You could not have made this comment even 3 years ago without 5 billion downvotes and 30 R sissyology top 1% users calling you Adolf Hitler. People using porn accounts is a smaller issue than the people who talk about their girl cock or euphoria boners or worse within mainstream subs. So many are having to go to alternative communities just to avoid that sort of thing. This should be the top comment. There needs to be another place to discuss sex talks. And I don't mean medical questions about atrophy, STI, surgeries. I'm talking about there's literally one post a day that's basically just smut or someone detailing their orgasm. It's ridiculous and embarrassing. Just so long as this doesn't escalate to banning trans people for not isolating the account used from this sub from all other social media like our trans did. I sometimes make posts on other subreddits that are marked as not safe for work, but it's stuff like mentioning self-harm in a post on our autism about meltdowns, or going to kinky autism and writing about wishing I could be whisked away by a powerful witch, or going on our transgender circle jerk and mocking RFK Jr. Recently, I posted in our dreams that I dreamt about an alternative version of Super Mario where Princess Daisy was raised by Yoshis. Do I have to make a separate account for all that? So you should be excised from society. I'm not reading that. Negative 16 by Fox Girl Moon, no relation, says, there's Fox Girl Moon? Like Luna Fox Girl? Is this the same person? There's so much shaming going on in the comments here, it's amazing. I almost like I walked into some kind of Puritan heaven. It's one thing to say you don't want not safe for work topics here, it's another thing that makes you uncomfortable. That's perfectly valid, but then to go on and shame people for daring to post about their personal not safe for work experiences? Question mark, exclamation point. It does go to show how well the puritanical sex is taboo. It's disgusting. Do not ever mention it. Everything involving sex is bad. Brainwashing has worked. This is what I see here in the comments. I heavily disagree with this, as it treats sex work as something dirty to be hidden, when in reality, a large number of trans people are sex workers and enjoy it. There's no reason, there should be no issue with people interacting with a subreddit as long as they're not posting not safe for work content or advertising. People shouldn't be forced to hide who they are to exist in a public space. This nonsense again. All this is going to do is reduce traffic from trans women who are further along in their transition and happen to have porn on their account. Why would someone make a separate account just to post on a specific subreddit occasionally? Like, most people don't even take the lowercase I internet seriously and aren't going to follow these porn rules. What's going to happen is people aren't going to make new accounts because that is a ridiculous thing to do. And they're going to get banned, which will reduce engagement from real people and further exaggerate the issues with bots on the subreddit. The sanitation of the lowercase I internet and this really creepy rise of purity culture is getting out of hand. Doing this will not make things better. Damn, what happened to people? Y'all are lost. There it is, a vague policy to ban whomever you want on a whim, for vague reasons related to fetish, kink, sissy, force femme, whichever words a mod decides to take issue with at that moment. The fact of the matter is here, some trans folks find kink and fetish uncomfortable. I've been reading replies, and I realize how much of this community would have hated my guts for the literal 1 month I was figuring shit out. Sure, I know I'm a trans woman now, and abso-fucking-lutely no one can take that from me, but then I found my way into the trans world via a fetish and kink. You don't have to like it, but if you choose to respect people in a way where you would respect a randomly chosen trans person, this is a bridge too far. I, for one, don't plan now or ever on gatekeeping gender identity, exploration, presentation. See you all later, I guess. Wow, RM to F anti-sex work. Been needing an excuse to leave this sad shithole. There's a post I didn't read here. This is a clarification from Cedar Wolf, by gender, she, he, they, cat emoji. About 30 to 40 years ago, the furry fandom faced the same dilemma. Sex sells and drawing furry porn can be remarkably lucrative. But the furries faced a choice. Either they could be squeaky clean and reject porn entirely, or they could embrace porn and reject minors entirely. Obviously, neither side was an acceptable solution, so they made a compromise. Furry porn is allowed, embraced, and celebrated, but only in adult spaces. If you go to the Furry Con, you have to be an adult to access the adult sales room, or the After Dark events if you want to see an adult artwork for sale. You have to ask the artist for their adult portfolio, which is kept in a binder that is separate from the all ages portfolio. So this guy's like a furry, too. I guess Cedar Wolf should have given it away. If you ever go to a burn, they all do the same thing. All the adult and after-hours events are kept contained to their own dedicated space, and the kid-friendly areas are kept well away from it. We try not to exile people who do sex work. We're encouraging folks to make sensible precautions. So you try to tell the trannies, hey, stop being creepy sex pests, even as a tranny, and suddenly you're a problematic libshit or a conservatard Nazi Hitler who is trying to deprive people of self-exploration. I'm glad I don't have to worry about shit like this. Alright. So, as I mentioned, I have a very special outro song that I will do a little bit of a music review of, if you want to stick around for that. But, so that, I will read the super chats. Now my computer fucking crashed. So what I'm going to have to do is open up my recording of my stream before my crash and see if I can read those super chats from this. Okay, let's mute this. Okay. Humble Guardsman for 3 says, I'm over here rolling my boulder. I got lotion on my boulder. I'm just pushing my boulder. I'm futile as fuck, man. I'm Sisyphean, bruh. Based and Sisyphus pilled. Lilanthia for 10 says, can't watch till later, but thanks, Josh Hamjan. Thank you. RCRA69 for $100 says, "Dear Fearless Feeder, why don't you play music?" I did play music. He already super chatted by the time the music had started. It was the furry music, though. Rich Wet Pasta for 40 says, "Thanks for all the excellent streams. Do spend this all in one place, a pizza place." Oh, man. I'm down 35 pounds. I'm officially under 35 or over 35 pounds of loss since February 11th, which puts me on. Let me check my spreadsheet, actually. No, damn it. I'm still a pound off from being 2 pounds per week from January 1st, which is my actual goal. Thank you. Portlack for 5 says, "How would you do a modern day LAN party? Should I set up like a virtual machine server and little machines? I want to be able to yell at friends while playing map games." I mean, I think you can do a LAN party with Europa Universalis, because I think they do a LAN game once a year. They have like a party in a castle or something and do it. Unironic Chud for 1 says, "Fig Bat Digger Nick." Fascinating. Keth King Khan for 20 says, "I'm the wolf. Let me in the party begin." Okay, so there's a YouTube URL attached to this that I have to like actually fucking transcribe by hand so I can post this. TNOCPKABPMW. Let's see what this is. It appears to be a music video by Amo. "Mom is Home."
In the deep forest waltz world, came knocking on the door. This is the sound of...
Okay, I will show you this, and then... I don't know what the fuck this is.
It's the sound of...
Is this like Swedish music or something? This feels Swedish to me.
Let the party begin.
Yeah, that is bizarre, bro. B-Log for 20 says, "Jersh, in an hour of most need I come, beseeching thy powers of feministing. Please, White Knight, for my ho she sender. She's Google Docs and cyberbullied off the damn internet for 2 weeks." Too long didn't read. B-Log for 20 also says, "Cinder bungles a business deal in Discord DMs, over which her Brazilian mommy, model artist, and 2 other Landwell YouTubers, etc. snake her. Cinder, woman's out online, fires her boyfriend." B-Log for 20 also says, "Sorry, this gay Kuma retard anime woman drama is so autistic that I'm only 7k words into making an OP. Timeline or summary?" I'm vaguely aware of this. I don't even know why I'm aware of this. There's a VTuber called Cinder, and she got into trouble because she has like a specific content, like I think he does like model rigging or something. He does something artistic that's important to a VTuber. And she had like taken possession of him and was very specifically trying to stop him from working with other anime women that like she was supposed to be friends with. Like she was shit talking them behind their back and trying to keep this guy from working with other people. And she came out and said like, yes, that because she got called out for it. And then she came out and said, yes, I was doing that, but my boyfriend / manager was the person making me. And I feel really bad for it, and he's no longer my manager. But I don't know if they broke up or if she's just like not working with him anymore. She didn't like make that clear. I have no. I honestly, I don't even know why I fucking know this. It's hard. I didn't look into it too much. I just know that's kind of like the timeline of it, and I mean it's pretty shitty fucking behavior. I don't know how. It has nothing to do with like women in general. Like, maybe it was her boyfriend's idea. Maybe she's just lying about that. It sounds like it's a really shitty fucking thing to do to both the guy that wants more work to make money and her friends that would benefit from his work. So, if she's your Oshi or whatever, she should probably just avoid being a vindictive petty cunt moving forward. Dark Western for 5 says, "Did you ever get the Sneed jersey?" I did not. I did not buy the Sneed jersey. From the what was it called? The NFL from when Snead won with the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, that was all the super chats from before the stream crash. Now, Kurt Eichenwald, anime masturbator for $20, says, Glorious Kiwi Emperor, I think the reason I admire you so much is that you are the world's only principled man. Thank you. I think if you ever change, then all will truly be lost. I guess what I'm saying is, and then there is a link, so... Oh my god. Okay, I didn't know that that song was from a fucking anime, but very cool, bro. Thank you. John Doe Darius for 5 says, the best stream and streamer. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Amir Al Quesadilla Ibn Fahita for 1 says, Josh, hello from Oman. Oh, hello. Oh my god. Oman's such a bizarre country. I find it fascinating, and I learned this from EU4. Oman follows a bizarre branch of Islam called Ibadi Islam, and my understanding is that the main distinction between Ibadi Islam and Sunni and Shiite is that the Ibadis are kind of like Protestants, where instead of having a what's it called? The guy that run like the head imam of like a nasheed, like the Islamic Empire, they believe that like there would be no division between Sunnis and Shiites, because both the Sunnis and the Shiites of the Caliph, yeah, okay, that's it. The Sunnis and the Shiites both have like their tribes with like purported different caliphs for like their Islamic organizations, and the Ibadis believe that if there was a true successor caliph to come up and unite Islam, it would be undeniable. There wouldn't be any question about it. There wouldn't be any feuding. It would just be like he was so obviously sent by God to unite Islam that there would be no question about it. So as a result, the Ibadis have managed to avoid all the internal strife that the Shiites and Sunnis enjoy fighting amongst each other and themselves, and they just kind of like sit on the boot of the Saudi Arabian Peninsula and mind their own fucking business. They also are interesting because they have one of the only sultans left. Like he wears this really cool turban and shit too. It's like a proper monarchy. It's an interesting sect of Islam, and the most tolerable, I would say. So Amir says, hello from Oman. When the trannies and Rage Pig finally come knocking on your door, you can hide amongst our camels. Thank you very much. Chaotic Laura's for 1 says, dead. Thank you. Indomitable for 1 says, Catch the Rainbow is Josh, or Jewish. I don't know who that is. I said Catch the Rainbow earlier, but it's lost me. I'm 4 hours in. My brain is melting now. David S877 for 25 says, this is the lawsuit that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends. Hopefully you'll do a 200-hour retrospective stream with the lawsuit once the Greer stuff is done. It will not need 200 hours. There's some weird stuff that happened, but like I can summarize it. Thank you. Judy Tester for 3 says, discussing trailers and stick homes, do you like shotgun shacks? I found out the term recently. I think they're cute. I've never heard of that. Sorry. Chaotic Lars for 1 says, NAACP ain't sending that money. I don't think so either. TB Deluxe for 5 says, #1 positive poly. That's right. I am your source of optimism and joy. Thank you. Awaken 34 for 5 says, when you went quiet after hearing the beep, I was expecting you to find out you died. Also, I hate the trigger warnings YouTube does with videos now, and the worst part is you can't turn it off. The fuck is that? Internet Archivally for 5 says, catch the rainbow, more like catch the oven, from poo-poo to the pee, suck and fuck will be Sneeds. I don't know who I talked about that was called Catch the Rainbow, but this name has now completely... Oh, the guy on the forum. Okay, that was like a retard. Okay, I got you. Chaotic Laras for 1 says, Indians and Nepalis deserve to collect trash. I don't know, not in my country. Good Luck 7 for 2 says, trash collectors get paid well in the benefits and retirement. Wrong again, stalker. Well, not these days, but it's still like a lowly considered job. Red Eyes Black Dragon for 2 says, I've been around for a minute and I never got into the appeal of Medicare. Furthermore, wasn't he supposed to die? He's been sick for a while, supposedly, but yeah, back in the day, I don't know, people really like him, and if you criticize him, you're going to get a lot of people jumping down your fucking throat. But back in the day, like, he's like 10 years older than most people that like watch him. So he was always kind of like the older, aloof guy, and he's like pretty funny. And that's basically all you need to be successful on the internet. If you have like, if you can make pithy comments, and be funny and just avoid your own drama, like that's all you need. Really, that's what people like. Cindo for one says Keandrea more like Blackie Singh. The uncredited for 5 says I like men, lol. Guys, Josh is gay. He just said he likes men, Lamau. I don't know what that's reference to. Banana Plugs for one says happy weekend, Josh. You're my favorite non-Slav always. I'm flying to Barcelona next week for work and I'm feeling sick thinking about all the neighbors there. Wish me luck. Good luck, bro. Avoid all those neighbors. Poor Lack for one says got to tip $1 for FDR and help. Based. Amir Al-Qasadiyya Ibn Fahita for one says, hearing that you have an understanding of regional conflicts in Tajikistan was not on my bingo card, Josh. Did you learn about this from stream or was that something you learned about before? I, as someone who is interested in China, I had done independent research into the... Because sometimes you just fuck around in Google Maps and you see like dotted lines from like territorial conflicts. I'm like, what the fuck is so interesting about this shithole in the middle of Central Asia? So I did a lot of research into it once upon a time. Gay Store spokesman for 20 says, we all know that NAACP stands for, and then there's a link.
Don't you motherfuckers know that the NAACP is trying to get us to stop using the N-word?
Doesn't the NAACP stand for niggas arguing and constantly protesting? I thought it stood for niggas angry about Caucasian people.
That's wrong too.
Niggas aren't always cocking pistols.
We ain't ever gonna make it. Don't you motherfuckers...
I've seen this before. This is old. 18 fucking years. 2007. Holy shit. Yeah, that's a fucking throwback. Thank you. Amir Al-Qasadiyya Ibn Fahita for one says, you are also forgetting the fact that here in the GCC countries, we rely on food from Iran in exchange for Saudi, Qatar, UAE, and Oman sending them oil. Our relationship to each other is equally retarded. Well, I mean, you live in a fucking desert, bro. I don't know what you want. Not Spurgzerker for $100 says, racism pays. Here you go, Josh. Finally, we're inching closer to that $250,000 racism goal. I appreciate it. Ibn for one, or Amir for one says, India getting mulched by China is the dream. Based and true. Little Baby Child for 2 says, where does pink Himalayan sea salt come from, the mountains or the sea? I honestly have no fucking idea. Eugless Sneed for 10 says, here's 10 for the racism goal. Great stream as always. Thank you. Thank you. CPEG for 10 says, did you hear that Smash JT interview with Del Araz? Hilarious to see Smash crash out and sub about anti-Semitism for the dumbest reason I've ever seen. No, I didn't see that. I haven't even heard about that. If that's not in the community happenings thread, you should probably post it. Porkback for 10 says, here's a fair and balanced YouTube channel to keep up on the Pakistan conflict. And it is it Laserpig? I hope it's my boy Razorpig. So sorry, India Operation Sindoor.
So sorry.
Ui, ada.
What the fuck? Oh my god. This channel has 5.5 million subscribers and they just churn out this fucking slop? Exclusive Polititunes by India Today group. So sorry. Oh my god. It's like a slop factory. That's nuts. What a fucking nightmare. India is a proper fucking nightmare, bros. Sneed is standing for 5 says, there's no greater despair in the world than being a SWE and getting a Teams message that only says, hey blank, from a person of curry. Software engineer and getting it. Yeah, bro. Tell me about it. I will say this. When I work payroll, they hired an Indian woman and that lived in Australia. And she was actually a very smart and good learner. I've never actually worked with Indians before except for her. And I was actually impressed because they hired her, I guess because she was so fucking cheap. But she had very limited programming experience, but she picked up everything because I had to teach her how to do shit. She picked it up pretty fast. So I don't know, maybe they picked one of the good ones, but I've never had the SAR experience. It was especially strange because I at the time I was just concerned because she was a woman. I was like, "You're really gonna hire a woman to write an Indian woman to write programming language?" And then she did okay, and learned pretty fast. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Awaken34 for one says, "I must ask, did you ever experience the joys of Bionicle?" I did not. I never had any Bionicles. My childhood friend was big into Bionicles. He was a military brat, half Filipino, half American, and he was like super short and kind of chubby, and he was one of the funniest people ever. Like in our elementary school classes, he was like the class clown. He was really, really funny. But he was big into Dragon Ball Z and Bionicles and Digimon and those Tamagotchis. And it's like I never got into any of that shit as a kid. So we had very divergent interests in that stuff. Useless Need for Two says, "Please, sir, I need help. I'm fucking Indian." Nobody can help you. Citrus Addict for one says, "Wishing the poos and packs a very merry mutual destruction, and I happy stay the fuck out of my land." That's right. Make sure to write your House of Representative and Senator today, letting them know you do not want any refugees from this crisis. Dios Mio La Crichera for 5 says, "China made a base inward waifu apology. I thought China was hecking based." Let's see. Oh, did they?
And why I have such an opinion because my ex-boyfriend, he was brainwashed me for a long time, and now I realize it's totally wrong. I shouldn't.
Oh no, they made that Asian lady that called the black guy the N-word.
Put my personal emotions on others. I think we are all the same. And you're cultivated, you have quality, you know about culture, and you teach English. So I think you probably, in some ways, you are even better than me. I shouldn't be that. I'm really sorry for that. Forgive you.
Oh my god. What's the evidence that she was arrested, though? It's like they're threatening her at gunpoint. I don't know. I'm refraining from believing that she was arrested. It sounds like they're just holding her at gunpoint. It's like they're in an alleyway in a hotel room or something. Because why would she apologize in English? Kick for 5 says, "After binge watching Kenny vs. Spinny, I really see what you mean about their fascination with poop. See who can imitate the other guy better and who can blow the biggest fart." Yeah. Even H3, I played that clip and I used the fart sound effect for Poopy Pants Nazi Boy. It's like, oh. Internet Archivalli for 2 says, "I hate how everyone tries to get me to care about brown people in my country or around the world. I do not give a shit and I never will. It's all completely, utterly retarded. Fuck normroids based. Fuck normies." Hydrofluorolefen for 220 says, "Happy Friday. If you ever thought about Do Not Redeem was getting stale, how about adopting some lines from this classic vid?" Okay.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Fast, sharp right. Fast, sharp right. Sharp right. Sharp right. Listen. Sammy, you have to listen to my call, Sammy. Please, I beg you. Fast, medium right. You have to turn the wheel, Sammy. 40, fast, medium left. 50, downhill, triple caution. Triple caution, stay center. Triple caution, stay center. Whoa. Concentrate, Sammy, please. Medium left, long, turn in. Medium left, medium.
I don't get it. Is this like him teaching him how to race?
Easy turn. Throttle. Fast, medium left, long, in. Medium right, concentrate. Medium left. Listen to my calls. Medium left into sharp left. You're not concentrating, Sammy. You're watching out and driving. Sammy, you have to listen, Sammy. Otherwise, it is not working, Sammy. Seriously, you're watching and driving.
Okay, I get it. Sucks to be Indian, I guess. Sneeze Professor says, I live in a 2-story house that's been divided into 2 separate floors, and now I have Indians living under me. I'm in hell. The smell is wild. Yeah, I'd fucking move, bro. I would even tell the landlord, like, they fucking stink. Collier Dante for 20 says, I love how the Brickroids video extolling the economic virtues of trade with India. He couldn't find a B-roll video of India that didn't include shanty slums. They don't exist, bro. They simply don't exist. Dios Mio Lacrocher for 1 says, Pakistanis are just Islamic Indians with Arab grape babies here and there. True. Saxon Bear for 5 says, Hamilton, Ontario is a dogshit hive of commies and schizos. I went there to college there, and the government conspired with the college to make parking and driving as hard as possible. Toronto's asshole. Did not know that. Saxon Bear for 5 says, here's another 5 for reading the mess I wrote, trying to keep it under 200 characters. Fuck Hamilton. You listening for 2 says, on a side note, those Indians I live have 6 people in a 2-bedroom space. I'd rather off myself than live like that. That's what they want, bro. Stay strong. David Lammy for 1 says, come to England. No. Fox Trader for $1 says, did you ever receive the Wormwood dinosaur coloring book I sent you to your P.O. box? Yes, I have. I haven't gotten it yet, though. It's being held. The president of Nintendo for 5 says, fuck map games. Roadcraft comes out this month. Truck game enjoyers rise up. Base truck game enjoyers. I'm more excited for EU5, though. Hydrofluorolephin for 2 says, 2,000 hours. Amateur, I've wasted just shy of 3,000 hours. Base map games enjoyer. Zent Supper for 5 says, play EU3 with Mew instead. It'll be worth you and everyone's time. No, I like EU4. Let me sit on your face, Josh, for 1 says, as a fellow allergy sufferer, I recommend generic fluticasone nasal spray and generic Claritin. Love you, Pepe Chulo. I like my current setup is working pretty well for me right now. Sneedo for 10 says, Star War. That's it. Reminded me of this. Okay.
Please fucking help me. You must help me, sir. I'm fucking Indian. Please help me, sir. I'm Indian. Please fucking help me, sir. I'm Indian. Please fucking help me, sir. I'm Indian. Please fucking help me, sir.
It does remind me a little bit of that. You're right. It is pretty similar. Thank you. Foxes for 5 says, piracy is a service issue. Gay Ben, owner of Steam. I fear for what happens to Steam when he leaves us. Yeah, Steam will be completely fucking ruined. And you'll lose all your video games to some gay shit. Always Mr. No for 10 says, read copyright. What's your opinion then if someone took everything you posted for your subscribers on Gumroad and put it on YouTube? They already do. I only ask that people wait a week before they do it. Necromancer 48 for 5 says, playing killer in DBD, I always focus gay and black survivors first. Thank you for informing me of Aurelia Rose's transgenderism. He is black and trans. I will focus him the most. Based. Thank you. Good luck. 11th Circuit for 2 says, happy pizza day to everyone except the sex pest in the Las Vegas metro area. Face. Goalie Dante for 20 says, sorry, I zoned out a minute there. Hector and Luna are in an infinite loop of accusing each other of bullying or accusing the other of bullying, but there was an inciting incident. No, they just had a falling out at some point, it sounds like, over some fucking licensing shit from the looks of it. Citrus Addict for 1 says, Synthetic Man is a visibly greasy incel who threw a tantrum because he can't strip and dismember women in Starfield. He's a massive Kumar and a lolicon. Gross, bro. Sneedo for 10 says, I'll never heard you genuinely angry at someone on stream until you saw the Bacoan clip a couple years ago. Okay. This is what I think it is. This is pretty funny. Let's see. No! No! Why would you send this to me? I can't. Oh, my fucking God.
How is she doing? What's the gift like?
It's almost harvesting season.
God damn it, I fucking hate anime. I don't even show it on stream. I just like am in a fit of rage. That's pretty based. Thank you. Citrus Addict for 1 says, forgot to mention Synthetic Man is one of those guys obsessed with Stellar Blade. Remember the petition clips? He's one of those and then some. I guess I'm going to be forced to take an anti-Synthetic Man stance, I suppose. They're working on a thread for him, I think. Nemua for 2 says, Josh, there's no such thing as lower or capital lowercase I internet. What exists is the uppercase I internet, which is global and public, and intranets, which are private networks. Wrong again, stalker. Consult the graph. For you see, an internet is a connection of intranets. The internet is the global, singular, proper noun of connecting many, many intranets together into many intranets, which form the internet. Fool. Laserdisc Spin Man. For instance, by the way, the Department of Defense, there is many individual Department of Defense headquarters, which have their own networks. These connect to each other in one military base, forming an intranet. They connect to each other, these intranets, to form the Department of Defense's intranet. And that is what our military uses. That is a thing, which is different from the internet. Laserdisc Spinman for 5 says, you made me laugh my ass off tearing through something. Happy to help. Ballistic Characteristic for 15 says, have a good weekend, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Sensitive Zero for 5 says, Synthetic Man is a fucking retard, has always been a retard. Everyone glazing him in his thread should probably reevaluate why they like him in the first place. He's not ER, nor will he ever be. Well, he's not an anime black guy, so I don't think so. Citrus Addict for 1 says, Lolicon is illegal in America under obscenity or indecency laws or something. It just stopped being enforced when it became profitable via anime, I guess. It has never been enforced. There is a federal statute against obscene depictions of minors. The issue is that it is a fictitious drawing that does not actually feature any minors because it's a character that doesn't actually exist. So it doesn't meet the legal definition of what a minor is. There are 2 instances in which you can catch an obscenity charge for Lolicon. Number 1, if you draw a depiction of a child that actually exists, then that is an obscene depiction of a minor. Because it's a real person who is a real minor, who therefore is being obscenely depicted, and therefore there's a crime being committed. The only other time I've ever seen the Lolicon law enforced is when they arrest somebody who has both child pornography and lolly. So there was a guy that was arrested who had an entire, I swear to God, this is true, he had a bookshelf filled with like lolly dojin and hentai magazines that he had imported from Japan, and he also had a computer filled with child pornography. So they arrested him for the child porn they knew he had, found the bookshelf of lolly dojins, and then charged him for the obscenity as well, because the theory was that because he's an actual pedophile jerking off to children, the context means that he's imbibing those as a pedophile thing, so it somehow becomes an obscene depiction. That's the context. As far as just like actual drawings, like no, they don't enforce that, and it's not because of like an anime cartel. It's just because we have the First Amendment, and the current interpretation of the First Amendment is that pornography is a protected form of speech. So if you really want to outlaw lolly, you have to outlaw all pornography, because then it's much easier. You know, you look at Lolicon and you say, well, what's the difference between this and you literally get into that argument over if it's a petite or a short stack or a child with the federal government. And if there's a shadow of a doubt, then you can't be convicted. So the short stack defense is the reason why that doesn't work. The only way to make it work is to make pornography as a whole illegal, and then say this is a pornographic depiction of what looks to be a child, and there's no defense for having regular short stack pornography anyway. So therefore, but I don't know if people want to go down that route. Colidante for 10 says, friends. Hopefully that is without, there's no jizz in those handshake emojis. Borello Furman, thank you by the way, for 1 says, Lolicons literally go, no, Stalker Child, it is you who is the pedophile. It is true, they do. Dano Joe for 5 says, Synth is a repeal the 19th guy that got one shot by merely talking to Kershaw and started banning people / censoring. He also said white people have no unity. Thanks, Fuda isn't gay. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. He jerks off to Fudacon, or not Fudacon. What's it called? Fudanari. So that is pretty fucking gay, bro. VTuber Fags back the fuck off for 3 says, oh no, Pippa Bros, and then there is a screenshot. So let's see what this is. Oh my god. Insane Cope, this is y'all. And then this guy called Dick Coomer says, it's true, transphobes aren't original. It's either a riff of Tune or Act. It's so dull. And this is him. Now, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure that's a Pippa outfit that he's wearing. The only answer I got was from your dad, and the funny thing I got was when he was telling me how small your dick is. Okay. So, there you go. There's one of your Pippa Bros. I think he wears that in Goons Off while she's streaming. So, if you're watching her streams, you're sharing an audience. You're sitting in the same movie theater with us. Oh no, my Oshi. M30WG1 for 5 says, Happy Mother's Day, Moon Pie. Oh, thank you, I guess. I don't think it's isn't it Mother's Day the 10th? Pretty sure it's not today. It's also not B-Day in Europe either. Crunky K for 2 says, moral of the story, don't have sex with Zoomers. Varela Furman for 3 says, the only thing about anti-lollies are the real people is that there are actually lots of exposed people who are openly anti-lolly. They just aren't as well known, so no one brings them up in response. Yeah. Citrus Addict for 1 says, pro tip for retard scrotes, start with kissing and let us escalate if you're too autistic to ask. If she doesn't make it mutual, then she's not into you and don't want none. That's true. You can also just wait for her to initiate. They will. If they're like horny, they will like start grabbing your thigh and shit. And that is also implied consent. You don't actually have to just throw women on the bed and fuck them without any kind of foreplay. That's a great pro tip for men. That's how you do it, okay? You should be interested in foreplay anyways. If you're not having foreplay, you're doing it wrong. And if you start initiating foreplay and she cuts it off, then you know there's no consent. If she doesn't, then you know that there is consent. Happy to help. Happy to help you guys not get caught with rape charges. Devious to V for 3 says, have you ever seen the clown that rides from gay people at Walmart? No, I haven't. Don't take my kidneys for 2 says, I think both people involved should die. TRD TJD. I don't know what that TR? I don't know what those are acronyms for. Tree Looker for 2 says, when you do a person stream on the history of Troons, can you do it in June and make your background pick a mess of rainbow flags and slip in some homophobic country flags? Sure, why not? Simulligan 2 for 5 says, here's some short videos of Kid Bandit wrestling in Japan. Oh boy, my favorite. They have tranny wrestling in Japan? Guys, I thought Japan was base. What's going on here? Why are there tranny wrestlings in Japan?
Go, kid!
Ah.
Go, kid! Yes!
What the fuck? I don't know if that's a tranny too, but the Japanese person does a good job of making that. There's even like a ting sound. Oh, because the hand hits the pole. Oh, that's so smart. He hits his hand against the pole and does like a lurch back, and he did it so well that you're like, wait, where's that sound coming from? And it's like, oh, that's good. The Japanese person did a good job. That's funny. That's very performative. I can almost understand why Japanese people gather around to watch drag queens fake kick each other. It's better than the pride parades in the U.S. Aye. One more. This is good. Okay, that's the end of that. Cool. That's fun. Kid Bandit living their best life in Japan. What are you doing, anime fans? Anime bros? Are you living their best life in Japan? I don't think so. Tetrabax for 10 says, I know the sound of that deep voice. Tetrabax, resident drug addict, here to impine. Thank you for your confirmation. Judy Dester for 3 says, I was writing a chat to ask why Rekieta sounds so Barney-esque, and now you immediately played the nitrous clip. I understand now. There you go. I think I cracked up. Awaken 34 for 1 says, on a different note, I think the best way to get people to stop talking to Ebonics is to call it hoodish. I don't think you can persuade people just by calling shit different names, bro. The Horse Speeder for 2 says, Sargon and Arch mentioned you in Kaffles during their podcast, the Archcast. They called Kaffles she. Sad! Pathetic! Awaken, this is why I don't do podcast interviews. It's like, I got the Lolicon Gooner getting epically owned by a fucking anime girl. And then I got Sargon who's like, well, it depends on her feminine prostate, doesn't it? And it's like, I don't want to talk to either of you. Awaken 34 for 1 says, Whippets trade IQ for Euphoria sounds kind of like a tranny. The Orange Cow for 5 says, you don't have to respond to this, but do you plan on covering the Greer case once concluded? Yes. Sneedo for 1 says, apparently Zoomers are destroying school Chromebooks. Base! Fuck them. Make the government spend more on that garbage. Haramburger for 10 says, Josh, check out this video of huffing air duster. It's the best and stream will love it. And then there is a link to the Kiwi Farms. I'm opening it. Okay, I don't know what this is. Let's see.
Oh shit, he went back in his truck.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
My fucking god.
Is he gonna crash his car? He's gonna like drive off in his car and crash it?
What the fuck?
He's totally gonna drive off in that car and crash it. Is that what this is leading up to? Oh, he falls out. What the fuck is this? He's just acting goofy and shit.
Shit.
He dies?
What's up, dude?
Zans, dude.
Zans?
You want some Zans?
$9. Nah,
He dies? Oh yeah, he died. Oh my god. Bro, what the fuck? Imagine if Rekieta just fucking died on stream. That's fucked up. I can't believe he went to sleep like that, chat. I can't believe he just fell asleep peacefully. For a year, for 5 says, Medicare, Nick, Ralph, or your favorite fat woman, who do you think will die first? Nick. Evidenced by the aforementioned sleepy time video. Josh for 10 says, there's a 9-volt battery in your UPS that needs to be replaced. I don't think so. I think the fuse blew, bro. Thank you. Citrus Act for 1 says, I'm actually called my state reps to leave anti-poo pack importation messages on the night of the initial bombing. Karen mode engaged. Base. Are Karen's doing the work? Karen did it. Karen did it. Did you contact your representatives, chat? Or are you just going to let Karen do all the work for you? Step it up. It's time to man up. And finally, Blind Oracle for 50 says, Happy Victory Day. Now, on that note, thank you very much. It is Victory Day. Yesterday was Victory Day for most of Europe, but it's proper Victory Day in Russia, where they usually do a big parade, but I think that right now Russia's occupied. So, in honor of Victory Day, I actually have something a little bit special for the outro song. I want to do something I don't usually do. I'm going to do a music review. This is a song by Kanye West called Heil Hitler. And it is about heiling Hitler. It is by Kanye West. It's his new single, Kanye West being a big famous guy. Now, before I play it properly, I'm just going to let it play and then that'll be the outro. But it features a speech from Hitler. And I actually looked this up because I was very curious what the fuck it was. Because I know, like, in South Park, there were like Nazi zombies or something in South Park, and they had a clip of Hitler, and I swear, I think if I remember correctly, it says "Für den Schule," and that was like what he just kept saying over and over. But he's like yelling it in like the Hitler voice, but all he's saying is "for your school." Like that's what it means in German. So it's a very odd, innocuous soundbite for Hitler. So I was wondering, did Kanye like deliberately clip a specific speech that he found, because he doesn't subtitle it, so it's like you have to look it up if you want to know what the fuck he's talking about. And I think this is subtitled. So this is the actual speech you'll hear at the end in case you want to read it. It's basically Hitler just asking for votes. He's at a factory giving a speech to workers, and you can hear him address the workers because he says Arbeiter.
Du meine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienst.
That's a good fitting suit. I never realized before how well Hitler's suit fit him. Like, look at how clean those lines are for the shoulder, how it comes right up to the neck, and it like the undershirt just fits perfectly. That's a good fitting suit.
Meines Volkes, gib du jetzt deine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
That's it. That's what he clipped. In case you're wondering, this was in 1935, and the subsequent vote was a uni-party vote with no opposition that resulted in a 99% victory for the NSDAP versus mutilated, when counted against absentee, like it was either yes or no, basically. You either voted or you abstained from the vote. and only like 1.5% of people abstained from the vote. So this speech was very effective. It resulted in a near 100% turnout, with almost 100% of the votes going to the NAACP, and the resulting mandate allowed Hitler to therefore annex Austria, and I believe also the invasion of the Sudetenland was the following year as well. So the Munich conference. So this was very effective, basically, in determining the course of history. This speech, the Anschluss, and then the Munich conference, which resulted in the occupation of the Sudetenland, which was a really hard pressed thing for them to give up, because Bohemia, which is the inner Czechia, is all flatlands, and the Sudetenland is the mountain ranges of the Alpines that basically cuts Czechia off from Germany. So after the Anschluss, Hitler demanded the Sudetenland because it did have a significant German population, and the two powers, France and England, were still in the appeasement phase. So they said, okay, Munich, just give up the German parts of Czechia, or Czechoslovakia at the time. Just give up the Sudetenland, and there will be peace, I guess. So they're like, okay, I guess what choice do we have? So they gave up the Sudetenland, German occupied it, and then they had lost their mountains and fortifications, so the remainder of Munich, or of Czechoslovakia, is just like easy ground for tanks to roll in through. So then Germany's like, okay, actually give us the rest of it too. Like, well, I guess we're fucked. So we lost all the fucking boundary, the natural boundary that keeps us safe from Germany. So I guess we're just fucked. So they got split in half. Slovakia became a puppet state, and Bohemia proper was occupied by Germany until the end of the war. And obviously the appeasement did not last. They then asked for Danzig to connect the original Prussian state of Königsberg and the surrounding area to proper Germany. Poland said no, and then World War II happened. Anyways, so let's hear what Kanye West has to say about all that. There's a little music video that I'll play, and I actually got to admit, I think that his parts, like his lyrics and the auto-tune, it sucks and it sounds kind of shitzo and shitty, but the actual chorus, where I think they're just saying Hail Hitler, I forgot by now, but there's like a chorus part, and it's like this soaring orchestra symphony, and it's like really good. It's like unnecessarily fucking good, and then Kanye's part just sucks ass. So that's my music review of this. Have a great weekend. Please enjoy your Heil Hitler Kanye West rap song on this Victory Day in Europe, and I'll see you on Friday. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Yeah.